Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show today. It's a beautiful sunny day. I got a nice hot cup of coffee and go sit with some friends, but I just have to let the Thundaro know that for the first
Yep.
10 minutes today, we're doing kitty cats. Cute kitty
Kitty
cats.
cats.
Matter of fact,
Give
I'm
me
going
some
to
kitty
bring them up.
cats.
Here, let me go ahead and get the kitty cats just rolling. All right, there we go. So cute, it should be illegal. It's kind of like
Yep.
Amy. Illegal.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. Just a little bit of calm down, kitty cat. And look, they got wisteria. Don't eat it, kitty cat. It'll kill you. Putting kitty cats next to poisonous plants. What the hell's wrong with you? But anyway, oh yeah, that story I was telling you about before we came online. My wife still laughs about that till today. She thought it was hilarious.
She's like, I
Anyway,
married a kaiju. I love
she
it.
did. She did. She said. Yeah. Anyway, it's just funny. Let me go over here and let me like and share. Please, you guys do the same. Let everybody know we're on. But yeah, we're going to get into things here in a little bit. But damn, you know, damn.
Get just one of them,
Yeah, it is one of those
popping off, going crazy.
silliness, just
Uh,
over and over and over. We're 10 kitty cats. All right.
yeah.
So tell me, how was your weekend, sir?
My weekend was actually wonderful, believe it or not. Wonderful. I had a great weekend, zero complaints. Uh, yeah, just a good old fashioned time. Spent some time with some friends last night. Got to spend some time with some friends and the wife, of course, today. We went out to eat, um, and we went for a nice long walk and just had a good old time. Just had a gay old time, Chester.
Yeah, gayness.
It was great, great time. And then currently, my blushing bride is putting up in the middle of the night, mind you, because the sun's already down at this time of day. Is putting up Halloween decorations on our front porch. So
Is it October yet?
because no, but
Oh,
if you ask her, she'll say all of September is Halloween Eve because she considers October all of Halloween.
you're
All of October is Halloween.
there's still 2 days left in September.
I know. I'm fully aware. This is not a battle that's worth fighting. Let
No,
me
it's
tell you.
not. That is that is certainly true, sir. Let her do whatever she wants in that department. I
Hmm.
actually almost got myself in a little bit of trouble last night.
Uh
Almost, but I actually prevailed. So, that
oh.
happens sometimes. It happens
Hmm.
sometimes,
Hmm.
guys. But no, I was looking at the kitchen and we have our counter space, right?
Sure.
And you know me, right?
Mm.
And there was the left hand corner up against the fridge is just her pile stuff there area,
Hmm.
right?
Junk spot. Hmm.
Junk spot. And I was like, you should get yourself some shelves and neaten that up, get that straight. She looked
Oh
at me
no.
sideways. I say, yeah, we got to clean up underneath the counter as well. A lot of garbage in there we don't need either. And she looked at me sideways the other way. And then I left, very confident and proud of it. But I came back later after doing some stuff outside, and sure enough, it was all cleaned up, though.
Aw. See, she must love you.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
There could
We'll
be
see. The
revenge
jury's still
coming.
out after a quarter of a century. The jury's still out.
We've
We
been
haven't
married
decided.
30 years, actually. That's
Oh my goodness, a third of a century almost.
right.
Woof.
Getting on it.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
That's
We
a
were
long
married in
time.
1995. So, yeah,
Yeah.
30 years exact.
Yeah.
And yeah, I might have some news on the horizon with
Your
s-
marriage?
no, not my marriage, my children's marriages and offspring.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's gonna be a
No,
grandpa.
shh.
Oh
We're
no.
not at the date
Oh
yet
no.
that you're allowed to talk about it.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
some rule.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the rule
Hmm.
is. I
I'm
was
pretty
told
sure the
this.
rule is life begins at conception. So
You know
once
what
you
I
once you
mean. You know how they are.
once you sneak one past the goalie, it's
It
you're
is.
in.
It is.
That
But I didn't say nothing. Tell her sister has a cleaner house that'll soften
Oh
her up.
boy, soften something up.
Whoo-wee. Boy, Alan has not dated, but he's watched other people who have. He has. He's been observant. He has. Well, I can't. She doesn't really have a sister. She kind of has a sister. She has a
Mm,
sister, but it's not a biological one. However,
mhm.
I can't do that. She would laugh because she knows how much of a lie that is.
What about her own mom? Would her mother get her? Is there
Well,
competition
well,
there?
well.
Mother daughter.
First of all, the neatest house I've ever been in my life is mine.
Well, that makes sense. I believe that. Yeah, I believe. I could see you. It's an hilarious sight, but I could see you in full kaiju size in a tiny little Japanese house,
Hmm.
just cleaning the crap out of it.
Oh yeah.
Just meticulous
Oh yeah.
down there, getting in there, getting all that grit and grime that nobody cares about, but you do,
I
and
do.
you're gonna get
Well,
it.
you better believe it. Every picture frame is perfectly straight. Yeah. No,
Oh no.
I'm very particular about those things. And dude, I have to duck every time I move from one room to another. In and out of hallways, into rooms, everywhere I go, unless it's like a gymnasium or something. But yeah, I
Mhm.
have to duck everywhere constantly. Yeah, it sucks. You
That's
don't know the
amazing.
pain, dude. And then of course, because I'm tall, everybody asks me to get stuff.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I have
Well,
to
see,
use
I
that.
do know that pain because my wife's only 5 foot tall, so I'm
Oh,
always towering over her.
yeah, I see. Yeah, I'm only a foot taller than my wife, though. She's not that short.
Mm,
Um,
mhm.
so well, a foot's a lot, I guess. The weird thing about Japanese is they have these, they have their own measurement system, from ancient times, of course, that they use just like everybody else, right? I mean, we all have our standards, right? And
Yes.
now, of course, it's based upon the Fibonacci sequence, just like every other culture on the planet. Isn't that interesting?
Curious.
That 432000, boy, that number, it just is ingrained in human society, man. I still don't know if it
That many.
matters, though. Well, I don't know if it matters. It's all this like ancient magic knowledge, I guess. But does it really matter that we build our house perfect to the golden ratio? Does it really matter? Does it?
That was somebody because we all do it.
We all do it. So I don't know. I think I'm going to build a house and I'm going to break the rules and see what happens.
Chester, you might be closer to the creator of the universe than you realize. It sounds like he might be a little OCD. He's just got these ways. He's like, nope,
Yeah,
listen,
no, you know what? That might
boom.
be true. That could be true.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but uh, but anyway, we'll say, oh yeah, well they have the same thing. It's just in their midget version, right, of the
Yeah.
golden ratio. Um, so they have all their stuff. But the funny thing is, so all their, they make little teeny rooms. All
Yes.
Japanese buildings are little small, lots of little small rooms, because they never had insulation in the past. They didn't heat their houses intelligently, right? The way we always have. So, and of course, these days they kind of caught on with, fuel costs and stuff like that. But they still do all these little teeny rooms, and in between each room they have their set height for the, those paper doors that slide back and forth. We call them pocket doors, but they're not really pocket doors, but they're like a pocket door. Anyway, you know those things. You've seen them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they're set at a height that has probably been that way for 1,000 years or more, right? And I have to duck under each one of them. But once I'm in the little teeny space that is within those confines, the ceilings are freaking 12 foot tall. So all their cabinets are up floating off the damn ceilings. I don't know how any of these women. I guess they all have. My wife has a ladder. I suppose that's what they get in these cabinets. But I guarantee you, if I went into any random house and just started open top cabinets, I bet you they're empty.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That would make sense. Yeah.
yeah. Such weird
What is
thinking.
it?
Why do we need? We don't
What is
even
it
need
like?
that wall. Just get rid of that stupid head wall.
What's it like
Like,
being Gulliver?
mm,
What's that
yeah.
like? Just in the land of the tiny people. What's that like?
Well, what I should do is do what I wanted to do long ago and just kind of build my own house because this is an old Japanese house I'm in, right? It's cool,
Right.
It's got a little courtyard out there that's like it's a rectangular building with a courtyard in the center, right? You've seen
Mhm.
those,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
They're all over the place. So it's cool and it's got history. I like history. It's a very old building, ship shape. But I should just build my own house and build 12-foot walls with no freaking barriers in the way and doors that are like 10 foot tall.
Chester's ideal house is a warehouse.
Yeah.
I think the lovely Mrs. Busby would not approve of living in a warehouse.
It's okay. I'll pay for the heating.
uh,
Oh, goodness gracious. It's been 10 minutes of kitty cats.
10 minutes of kitty cats.
Look at the little
Oh
cute kitty
boy, the
cats
lights.
next to the poisonous plant.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, they're fine. Cats know better. They won't eat it.
Oh, they do know better. They're instinctively know not to die. Cats are, for as dumb as they are, their survival instincts are insane. Did you know cats can kind of fly? Did you know that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
They literally glide. They have membranes that allow them to glide. Never knew that. But it explains a lot though.
Wait, I thought these were Oh boy, these look like Christmas lights. What is happening out here? I'm not asking a question, Chester. I'm gonna go back in my room, in
Yeah,
my office. I'm
don't
not
look.
asking questions. Not asking any
No,
questions.
what you got to do is she's got to come and say, "Come look," and you're going to so that's wonderful, and you're going to smile, give her
Looks
a
great,
kiss,
baby. Good
yeah,
job,
and
baby.
then ignore you ever saw it. That's what's got to happen.
This
Alan's
is this
get
is how you win these battles when it
That is
comes to
true.
marriage. You just
Alan
let them
Alan's
have it.
Alan's getting him an education today, isn't he?
It's the truth. You can't win every battle. You
No,
don't even want to fight every battle. It's not worth it.
no. Well, anyway, before I get into all the kind of stuff I have set up for today, because I do have some actual, kind of fun stuff I'll get into. But before we do so, there's an elephant in the room. It's in the title
Where?
of the of well, i- if you it's one of the best Bill Cosby jokes ever, by the way.
It
You know
is.
that it is that's a great joke.
Yeah.
But anyway, um,
Listen,
uh,
I get he's supposed to be persona non grata, but
mhm.
that son of a bitch was funny.
He
I don't care
was
what anybody
real
says.
funny, and he could do clean and blue. Actually, I've never seen him
Yep.
so blue. He was mainly pretty clean. He was funny as hell, dude. And I still don't give a shit about any of that nonsense because
No.
it's the same thing with me too, right? You got a
Yep.
bunch of lechers in Hollywood that have been basically peddling fame for sex for over 100 years, right?
Yes.
And you got a bunch of whores who are willing to play the game.
Yeah.
End
And
of
you know what?
conversation, dude.
That's none of my business.
It's none of our business. But they could have come up. So you give up the pussy, you get the fame,
Mhm.
you get the money, and then you get the bitch about it. Fuck you.
Yeah, I agree.
Fuck you straight,
I
right?
I think I've never been one of these white knight people who are like, we gotta protect the women. Why? They wanted this.
Why? They
Nobody
chose
for
it.
I mean, in some circumstances, I'm sure there's some coercion and some whatnot. Okay, fuck those guys. But the vast majority of them, this is a completely free choice that they're making of their own volition.
Right. Yeah. If you got some random dude or person that is violently attacking a woman and she's a victim, I will step in to defend her. Sure.
Yes. Yes.
But this isn't that. And of course, the Bill Cosby thing. Literally, he went to go party with some girls, as was the thing back in the 60s and 70s. He's like, "Hey,
Hmm.
girls, I got some drugs. You want to party?" And they're like, "Yes, sir, Mr. Famous Man." And off they went. And yet, then
And they
somehow
had a
that's
good
a
old
crime.
time.
And that's a crime, though.
Maybe the crime was he never got him off, and that's why they were so upset.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe you got his
See?
little secret there, a little bitty secret there, Bill.
Yeah, it could be a problem, Bill.
Could
You
be a
gotta
problem.
finish the job, Bill.
Gotta
Finish the
finish the
job.
job. Yeah. But I'm just saying, because as far as what I saw with that case, that's what you got.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
see
mean, that's
anyone
the
ever put any other information up other than that. Willing participants.
one of the main reasons it got overturned and he, was
Yeah,
released and everything is because there was so many um breaches of conduct by the prosecution
yeah,
because they didn't have a case. That's the real
no,
reason. They had to do all kinds of bullshit to get the man.
yeah,
At the
no,
end of the
that's
day,
true.
here's what he was. He was a lecher. That's it. He was a
Yeah,
lecher.
and they
That's
were
not a
whores.
crime. Yeah,
He's a
not a
lecher and
crime.
they're whores. I mean, it is what it is. It's perfect. It's like bed bugs, perfect company for each other, right?
Yes, they're made for each other, literally.
Yeah. So, but it's just all this, nonsense. Women know they can get away with it. They know they can push and get what they want, and it's just the bullshit of it. With
Yep.
the Bill Cosby got caught up in it, and it's unfortunate because he was a real funny guy, and he did a lot of things for a lot of people to help them out, not only in the
Yep.
industry but out. He did a lot of charity stuff, and he did a lot to talking with the black community, get them to stop being so ghetto, right?
Yes.
And you want to say, oh, he was a lecher with a bunch of girls who are happy to be whores to that lecher. So what, dude?
Yep. I don't care. Not my
Yeah,
business. Not my penis. I'm not putting them in it. Putting it in
no,
them.
that's right. No, I can confidently say I've never had to pay for it. Well, that's
Yeah,
not
me
really
neither.
true. I did pay for
Well,
it.
yeah. At the end, yeah, you're paying for it, but
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
directly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Directly.
No,
No,
that's what it
I've only
meant.
ever there's this thing on the internet where these guys, usually they're like pickup artists or whatever, or the red pill guys, they'll talk about genuine desire. Maybe I'm just better looking than I think I am. I've never been with a woman where that wasn't the case, where it wasn't
Nah,
very obvious that
easy.
she wanted to have sex with me. Yeah. So
Women
I
don't.
don't know what some men are dealing with here. Some men must be dealing with, I
Yeah,
don't know. I
women
don't know.
don't care what you look like anyway, dude. I mean, if you
They
bring a
don't.
Henry Cavill in, you're going to have a parade of drooling women behind him. Sure, fair enough.
Yes.
But women don't actually care what you look like. It's all pure attitude, dude. It's all
Yep.
attitude.
They care what you
100%.
make them feel.
That's right.
That's it.
Pure
That's it. And
attitude.
that doesn't have to be good feelings. This is why they stay with just complete assholes, complete pieces of shit. They just want to feel. Some of them anyway, broken ones. Ones who aren't broken aren't like that necessarily, but it's still the same formula. They want to feel.
Yeah.
What they want to feel will change between the
But
maturity
even
level of the woman and the wisdom of the woman. But yeah,
yeah, even a
there's
good
a
woman
reason why
works
they
that
like them.
way. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and and it often can come down to little things like I just mentioned Henry, right? Now Henry's a really good
Oh yeah.
looking guy, obviously, and
Mm-hmm.
I remember this interview he did, and Gal Gadot was with him, and she's
Mm-hmm.
one of them that clenches her lips for men, right? Even though she's married with kids, but whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, and Henry
High sex
was
drive.
yeah, well, I think so. But Henry
Mm-hmm.
is sitting there, and they were asking him personal questions, and I guess he's one of five or six brothers or something, and he was just
Yes.
praising his mom. She was a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful mom. She did a great job raising all those boys, and he was just praising his mother. And Gal had that look on her face that just say the word, and my clothes are going to be torn off. Take me,
Mm-hmm.
man. I mean,
I,
she
I
had
have a
that
sneaking
huge look.
suspicion that happened. That has
I
happened at
don't
some point
know.
with
Is
those
she
two.
really? Is he attracted to that kind of girl?
But listen, when you're on a set for that long, maybe
I don't. I don't think so. I think you can. Henry may be a handsome fellow, but Henry
he
is
does have
nowhere.
extreme discipline. That's true.
He
He's very
does, but he
disciplined.
also isn't as slick as he thinks he is.
Mm.
Right? As
Well,
we
but he,
all are. Right?
yeah.
But
Well, look at him.
the only time I've seen him give any kind of blush or wink or lean to any female was
Yep.
the young lady who played Siri.
Yes.
Now I
Yep.
don't know how old
And
she
he and
was. I think she's old
she
enough.
was
But
she was, yeah, she
yeah,
was. She was like 19 or 20
yeah.
in that interview. I know which one you're talking about, and he nods to himself. He's like, yeah, because he knew he had her at that moment.
Well,
Um,
I think he already had her. She had the look on her
Probably.
face was bashful. I have a feeling that
Hmm.
something happened there. But with all these other drooling middle-aged women over Henry, I don't think he gave him time of day. I think he was
No.
polite. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's just like Chris Pine. I mean, Gal drooled over him harder than any dude I've seen her drool over, and she
And
does
he didn't
like
care.
she likes her pretty men, and he didn't give one shit.
That's why she drooled over him so hard,
That's
probably.
probably true. Yeah, yeah,
Women want what they can't have. They will chase you if you will not give them what they're chasing you after. They
hmm
will just it's very strange, but the one thing that all men need to learn, any man hearing this right now, learn how to say no.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
say no to her.
Oh, it's
That's
powerful.
it.
Mm,
She'll be you'll be I mean it'll be a deluge down there. She'll be so excited that this man
yeah,
stood up to her. She
yeah.
won't know why, most of them
No,
don't they won't
that's true.
their brain won't figure it out, but they'll just be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh
Now,
my stars and goddess."
I do have a question for you with the Wonder Woman. The first
Mhm.
movie was okay. I mean, I give it a
Mhm.
5. The second movie I didn't watch because it was so trounced by everybody, including the people who were
Yep.
supposed to like it. However,
Including me. Terrible film.
yeah, I
Don't
mean,
watch it.
unfortunately.
Wonder Woman
However,
rapes a man. All right? Let's just
yeah,
call it what it is.
it is what it is. Here's the thing. Where do you stand on the stuffing of the bra from Wonder Woman?
If it needs to be done, it needs to be done. She is
Well, they
supposed to
did it.
have a
They most certainly
yeah,
did it. She's flat chested,
yeah.
that was a padded, brassiere or whatever it is. They constructed something to make it look like she had tits.
I would
Um,
say just about every other way, she had the perfect
yeah,
body, at least when she was in Wonder Woman mode. She has really nice thighs, really long legs. Like that's important because of the outfit. Uh, so if that was her only lacking, and that's easy to fix, I don't have any
why
problem
not?
with it.
Yeah.
Fix it. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you could tell she did put some effort.
yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't great, but it was all right. You know what it was better than? A lot better than was there's been a lot of TV shows that I thought should have lasted, like Firefly, and
Mhm.
shows that did last that I never understood. One of the
Yep.
biggest conundrums for me of all time is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Never liked Buffy much, huh?
Well,
Not a fan.
here's the thing. The girl, Sarah Michelle Gellar,
Yes.
first of all, she's not a good actress. She's quite bad. The only thing that helped
Mhm.
her out is everybody else on that show was much worse. Okay.
You're right.
One. Two. Every time she throws a punch, throws a kick, tosses
Mm.
someone across the room, whatever the violent fighting action may be, it's laughable. It's laughable. It's
Looks
awkward,
terrible.
spaghetti armed nonsense. It's so bad. It's so bad. I really always wondered, people who love Buffy, are you loving Buffy because it's ridiculously stupid? I mean, is that it?
Oh,
It's like
no, they love
some
it.
but it's so bad,
Mhm.
dude. It's radically bad.
It is. I will say, for me personally, I agree that it's not the best show ever. I actually like the spin-off show Angel a lot more. I
Well,
thought it
he
was a
is the
much
best
better
actor
show.
on the show, and he had
Yep,
that Bones show he was in as well.
yep, yep. And he's got he's got size. He had a
Charisma.
great brood, right? 'Cause if you're gonna be this dark, tortured vampire, I gotta believe you just by looking at you that you're in your eyes, and he just was able to do that. Um, and the show was what better written, I think, up until the right near the very end, it was very well written. So I liked Angel a lot better, but even still, especially once we got out of that era where we had TV shows like that all the time, and we started getting into
Yeah.
things like Breaking
CW.
Bad and The
Yeah.
Shield and da da
Yeah.
da da.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, they actually can make amazing television. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it
Shield.
was just it was a perfect example of what you talked about with Knight Rider. It could only exist at the time that it did,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because
And
the country was in this weird like the naivety of the 90s that a lot of us had
mhm.
that was shook awake with September 11th and stuff. So it was just like this weird where people wanted to like things that were kind of shit, like Charmed is another example.
Yeah, but
Kind of shit.
Charmed was much better at what it was trying to do, though.
Yes. Yes.
Right? I
They
mean,
weren't
it's still
superheroes
CW,
out here.
YT nonsense.
Yeah.
But it was what it was supposed to be. Buffy the Vampire Slayer sucked balls. The movie actually was fun.
The movie was, because the movie was, it was campy. It was supposed
Yeah,
to
it
be,
was
right?
tongue in
He knew what he
cheek,
was
right?
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but no,
And that
I,
girl in
I,
that movie was actually hot.
yes, very. Uh, I always preferred Angel over those two of the
Yeah.
shows of that era, like CW. Honestly, even though I just shit on it, Charmed was probably the best one, and it was the one I think that was the longest running. So
I have no
makes
idea,
sense.
but I saw a few episodes. It's definitely girl drama shit. But
Yes.
it is doing what it is what it is, right? And
Right.
therefore it has its charm. But
Ha.
I made a dad joke.
He
I
did.
did watch that Bones for a little while, but it just became so rote and so stupid. I just gave up on it. But it started out all right. But I remember exactly the moment that because I've been wanting to stop watching it anyway. But I remember the moment I did because so many of these shows depend on the will they, won't they, right?
Hate it so. I hate it so
Right, I hate
much.
it. I hate it. Yeah.
Ugh.
But in that one, she this completely emotional skinny girl, Bones, and she's also like a kind of anthropological doctor, detective doctor. Um,
Forensic
um,
anthropologist.
is yeah, forensic anthropologist. She's dating some other dude in the FBI who he knows, and they all call him Peanut. And she says, "Well, why do you all call him Peanut?" And he's like, "Well, because of his penis." And he's like, "Well, he's actually not that small." And he's like, "Ah, I know. That's why we call him Peanut. It's like calling a fat guy tiny." He didn't go on to explain it, but he said, "I know." But the absolute mean spiritedness. You're trying to do will they, won't they? You have her
Yeah.
fucking another dude, even though who would fuck that chick anyway, right? I mean, let's be fair. And she's getting a big dick from this other guy, and she's got to rub it into him because she's so naive and stupid. She doesn't know he likes her. You're mean fuckers. You are mean fuckers.
Yeah.
I understand it's a
Weird cuck
fantasy
shit.
drama. I get it, but fuck you, right?
Yeah. Weird
That is
weird
just
cuck shit.
mean. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It
That's mean.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you. It's almost like this, where a lot of times they'll do exactly what you're saying. That they'll set it up like that. They'll build that tension, and then one of them will start fucking somebody else, and the other person's just okay with that, or they let it go. No, fuck off. I wouldn't let that go. First of all, I'm of the mind that if we're in a situation, me and a lady, where there's clearly tension being built, and she runs off and starts banging some other dude, all right, see ya.
Yeah, no,
I'm good.
that's definitely into that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're mean spirited, and I don't know who it was, but someone back in the day said, "Hey, you can't have families together. You can't have relationship. It kills everything." And
Which is
someone,
ridiculous.
yeah, it is. Someone made that decision, and they completely forgot stuff like Leave It to Beaver, Happy
Yes.
Days, Married with
Every
Children.
show ever,
Yeah,
basically up until that point, all of the most successful shows of all
Little House
time
on the
uh,
Prairie. I mean,
were about families.
that's true. Well, Andy Griffin was one that didn't have a mom though,
Well,
and
at
that was
first,
an old
eventually
one.
he gets married
Yeah,
near
but
the end.
the original mom is dead or something, right?
Yeah. But it's still about a family. It's still about a father and son,
You know
and
what I
and the
mean. I'm
town, of
just
course.
I'm just
Yeah,
playing devil's advocate. But yeah, in
but
general,
still, even like you could even make the argument like Bonanza and all those were about families. Like
of course they
it's
were. But
still,
there's
yeah,
just no mom. But Hollywood's got this weird nonsense about, and I know what it is. It's Marxism. One of the
yes,
first rules of Marxism is destroy the family. I get it. I know what they're
that's right.
doing. Yeah, I see you over there. I see you. Okay.
I see you.
Anyway, I'm swearing a lot today. You know why?
He's fired up.
Dude, this has been the fourth church attack in what, less than 2 months? Right? And everyone's talking about the church thing, which is a very weird situation. I don't know what's going on with that. We'll find out in a day or two, I'm sure. But keep in mind, yesterday there were actually four attacks, not just the one in Michigan. There were four. They just were nowhere. They either failed or not very successful in what they were trying to do. That one burning an entire church down, of course, caught everyone's attention. We had 4 attacks yesterday. We've had so many attacks against churches, Christians. There's been many attacks against Jews, just old Jews sitting out in the park or going on a little parade or going to their synagogue to do old Jew stuff and having jackasses come and throwing fire on them. I mean, what is that supposed to be some kind of fucking irony? What is that?
It's these people, unironically, whether they know it or not, serve the devil, Chester.
No,
So
you damn well they do.
what
Fucking
happens
devil.
is it every time every time the communists get riled up, the first people they always attack are Christians. It's without exception, and it's universal
Yeah,
all around the world.
yeah. It is.
Communism is anti-Christ. It's anti the very
It
concept
is.
of Christianity to its core because all of their virtues are sins to the Christians. Every
That's
single
true.
one of them.
Yeah.
Because it's based in envy, it's based in pride, it's based in what you deserve.
It also
Within
explains why
Christianity, you deserve nothing.
it also explains why the Islamists and the communists get along so well. Um,
Yes.
and keep in mind, this is in America. We've all seen what's been going on. It's out of control. But keep in mind, they don't the stuff that they don't talk about on the news because I don't know, they don't give a shit. Keep in mind, every single solitary day in Nigeria and Congo, Christians are being murdered and churches are being burned down every single day for like over a month. They've been on pure
Christians.
Christian killing rampage in Africa here the past couple of months, dude. Seriously.
Well, I mean, it's been what 1400 or so year
But I mean,
campaign
I'm
by
just
these people.
true, but I'm just saying here recently we've had a lot. Nigeria is out of control. Congo, well, is fucking Congo. What do you want?
Right, yeah. Wait, the best solution to that is neutron bomb, and then we go in and take the resources. But that's evil. I'm the bad guy
Yeah.
if I suggest we just wipe out all the human filth and take the resources because they're not doing nothing with it anyway. Africa's the richest continent in the world. It's not even close, and the only way anything can ever get done is if people from outside get it done.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it. Well, I probably don't hate to say it. Um, but it's quite clear they can't manage themselves. If
No,
we were actually moral people, wouldn't we go and manage it for them?
we tried, and then a whole bunch of libs said we're evil. We're bad guys. We're bad guys. You're doing bad things. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
the Germans and Belgians were a bit much, though, weren't they?
But you gotta trim the weeds. You know what I'm saying? You gotta trim the weeds. And that means, unfortunately, when you're dealing with savages, these people venerate savagery, so you must deal with them savagely. It's that simple. There's no other option. You can't love them to being better. That doesn't we've been trying that. How many trillions of dollars have we wasted in that continent trying to get these
Oh,
people to be better through love and peace and kindness? That don't work.
a lot.
That clearly don't work. You want to know the ones who actually behave the best comparatively as a group, at least success wise, are the Black Americans. You know why? Because they got a beat out of them. That's why. That's just the truth. They got husbanded by the slave masters, and then the ones who didn't have that situation were the ones who got out of there anyway and are smart and capable and would have thrived anywhere in the world because they're hardworking and smart. They're the exception to the rule. But the ones who are here, the reason why they were able to turn the ones who did, because there's still a whole problem, it's because back in the day, those traits were bred out of them or beat out of them. And it's just the reality of it. Nobody wants to admit it, but it's just like if humans are not that much different than dogs. None of us are. Not doesn't matter what race we are. If you do this over a long enough period of time, you're going to change the way they behave. Simple as that. And they're smarter on average than the Africans by a pretty good number. Um, these sorts of things can be removed from people, but you have to be brutal, and no one wants to do that. No one wants to be that person. It's just true, and it's a one of those inconvenient facts of reality that the only way you're going to make Africa better ever is through violent force, or leave it the hell alone. Just quarantine it off, leave it alone, and move on with everybody's life.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Speaking of Congo, I remember seeing a documentary. Now, there is a certain subculture of men that
Hmm.
they every day dress very dapper.
Yes.
They have a code of what kind of suits and how they wear their suits. They're very knowledgeable about suits, which most of us aren't. They always wear cufflinks, watches, the right rings. Everything has meaning. They're very dapper. There's a term for it. I can't remember what it is offhand. But nevertheless, um, I remember watching this little mini documentary from a Deutsche Welle. I watch a lot of non-English stuff.
Hmm.
Sorry. Anyway, but it was in Congo, and this guy had taken out multiple loans. This Congolese guy had taken out multiple loans to have himself proper suits. Right? I mean, a loan for a suit. What? First of all,
Right.
if you can't afford the $5,000 suit, buy the $300 one. You know,
Yep.
but whatever.
Yep.
He had thousands of dollars in suits that he took loans out for, living in his actual hut that he had laid and strewn on the ground. But
Oh
every
boy.
day when he went out into the mud strewn streets amongst all the other hut dwellers, he wore his Dapper Dan best.
Oh.
This
Oh
is,
my.
there's a word for this. It's called inanity.
Yes.
Look it up.
Inane.
It is
Very
inane.
inane. Uh.
Holy crap,
Oh.
dude. And anyway, so what is there to be done? I mean, because I don't really care what the left says. I haven't cared in quite a long time. They're nasty, vile little creatures, plain and
Yep.
simple. Um, the ones who are more classical liberals, like moderate liberals, stuff like that, they left the party years ago, like Dave
Many of them.
Rubin and Joe
Mhm.
Rogan and all those guys. As far as the influencer ones, but there's a lot of people who went with them, right? Bill Maher seems to have jumped ship, right? The
Mhm.
New Jersey guy there had a stroke. He seems to be joining the independents or
Oh,
Republicans.
Pennsylvania, but yeah,
Yeah, whatever it
Fetterman.
is. Fetterman, yeah. Because he's just got common sense. Those guys are not the issue, right? They're just politicians, right? Or
Mhm.
pundits. But these lefties, it's way out of control, and it's so clear. They spread lies, they threaten, they burn, they give violence. An actual, with Charlie Kirk, which I didn't know that the impact Charlie's death would have. I mean, I've watched
Mhm.
many of his videos, but it looks like a lot of people did, right?
Yeah.
That really hit the country real hard. But what did the so-called far right extremists, where all the violence is, what did they do? They went to church and got mocked for it. Not a city was
That's right.
burned, not a person was shot in the street, no one was mugged, no one was disappeared, no woman ended up raped in the back of some park somewhere, right?
Yep.
So
Mhm.
it's very clear. It's very clear. And if you, and I know my voice is not carrying very far here, but if you can't see the difference, you are the problem.
Yeah.
There is no more conversation. There's no more. And I'm not even living in it. And I'm done. So my question is, what now? Because I saw the president of the United States just the other day, and keep in mind, you might not like some of the boisterous and you know, uh, um, you know, bombastic things that Trump goes on about. All right, I get it. But one thing Trump really, really wants to do is be president, be presidential in the way he does things. And he came out and he follows the rule to the nth degree. Look how many court cases he's had to deal with. You realize he's hundreds past the average for a normal term, right?
Yep.
Hundreds,
Mhm.
right? But he came out the other day to say, look, hey, I'm the president of this entire country, of everybody. And this stuff needs to stop because the right are losing their patience. Now, he didn't say it
Yes.
the way I'm saying. I'm just being very direct. They're losing their patience, and if that pops off, it's good. We don't want that. I don't want that. You don't want. We don't want that. He was very clear about that. That was very straight. That was upfront. That was an honest moment between a politician and the people. They're rare, everybody. Now
Yes, they are.
they come with Trump more often because that's kind of his game, right?
Right.
But I'm just saying, are we there yet?
No,
Hmm.
you'll know. You won't have to ask that question. It'll be very apparent.
Yeah, but
Um,
hold on a second.
the reality is, the problem with the right is there's twofold problems. One, they're incredibly Christian, and Christians historically have allowed themselves to be abused unbelievable amounts before
That's
they
true.
finally do something about it.
That's true.
They finally stop believing that turn the other cheek means you have to let people kill you, which is not what Jesus meant at all. He was speaking directly to a Hebrew Jewish audience. The reason he was using the words he was using is because they were so violent to anybody who wronged them. That's why. He wasn't this was not ever supposed to be a universal edict that he was giving to all mankind in all situations. And he's clear about it, actually, if you read it in the original text. I digress. However, and the person who pointed that out to me, by the way, was a rabbi. It took a rabbi to explain to me what Jesus was saying because all the Christians were lying. They didn't know they were lying, or at least most of them didn't, but they were. They'd been taught a false doctrine of passivity, that Christianity is pacifist. No, it isn't.
Right. No, it's not. It's just like the other day when Erica Kirk forgave the killer. And a lot
Yeah,
of people were making various comments here or there about it. But what you don't understand is she's not saying he should go without punishment. What she's saying is, I'm not going to carry the burden of your asshole behavior, is what
right.
she's
I'm
saying.
not going to meet your evil with more evil.
That's right. I'm not
Um,
going to carry that burden. I'm going to let that burden go. That's what that
yeah,
means. To forgive is for yourself. It's not for others,
that's
right?
right. And
So,
what they've done is they've cucked out Christianity so hard since, well, a few hundred years now, but really in the last 70 or so years, to keep the right from doing exactly what you're talking about, getting rowdy again. Because here's the truth of the matter: the Revolution of America, the Revolutionary War, was started and fought by Christians. It was started in
to be
churches
fair, it
with
was a bunch
preachers.
of liberal Christians, though.
It was, well, liberal, but liberal at that
No,
time was a different
but I'm
different
just saying they were
nomenclature.
Democrats, and they
Um,
had to drag of course, there were no Republicans at that time. Keep in mind that the
right.
Republicans were created to end slavery and fight against the all the nonsense was going on at the time.
Yes.
But
Well, they weren't all Democrats because you had the Hamilton faction as
well,
well
no, they
that was
weren't.
very
No, I mean
anti-democratic.
you had Democrats and you had well, I don't know if the Whigs were from day one or not, but you had liberals and conservatives, right? And you had
Yes.
some people in the middle. But
I think a better way to delineate would be Federalist and Anti-Federalist.
yeah,
Those are
no,
your
that's
two
fine.
main factions.
But I'm
Yeah.
talking about the ones who agreed with each other, right?
Yeah.
Not the not the anti-federalists, but
Right.
whatever. My point is, they had to drag the other ones along with them. And
Yes.
honestly, what really kicked it off was when I don't I you know I would ask the question. I know a lot of people aren't going to even know what I'm talking about, but do you think King George penned that letter,
Oh,
or did some damn
no,
secretary do it?
sub undersecretary or whatever the hell the names of their ranks were did it. 100%. It was not him. He was no, it wasn't him. George
Now,
was he was a lot of things, but he was not writing that letter.
No, I
Um,
don't think so because that letter is what led to that Revolutionary War. Because
yes.
that letter, because they sent a letter, several actually, but the last one, their
Mhm.
letter to him was begging for some representation or just a voice at the table. Just can you talk to us? Right,
Right.
is what they were begging for.
Dialogue.
And the letter they got back was that the crown doesn't bow to pressure, yada, yada, yada. The crown is ultimate. The king is ultimate. And all those involved in this treason shall surely hang. Right? Therefore, it didn't matter whether you agreed with Jackson or Jefferson, or you agreed with Adams or any of them. You are all in it now. You're all in it now because they were all
We will
named
hang
on it.
together or hang separately.
That's right.
No, but
That's what did it right there. That
my
one
point
letter.
is, it was still though largely, not totally, because Jefferson and them weren't really Christians, but a lot of them were, and it was still though fought and started by Christians.
Yeah, but
Because
they
here's
were
what happened:
deists, though. Don't
not all
separate
of them,
them out to
not all
no.
of them.
Don't separate them out
George
into that
Washington was not a
atheism.
deist.
No,
George
some were
Washington was a
Christians.
hardcore Christian.
Yeah. But
Hardcore
I'm saying
Christian.
there were no atheists amongst them. Is my point.
No, I didn't say atheist. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. No, Jefferson was a deist. Yeah, 100%.
I'm
He
saying.
was a cultural Christian, a philosophical Christian, but he didn't believe in any of the
No,
spiritual part. He even
I'm a
wrote a Bible
deist as
about it.
well. I live my life
Yeah.
as a deist. Yeah.
But regardless, my point is, the vast majority of the people who did the fighting were Christians. That's not even
Oh yeah,
debatable.
no, that's
There was a
100%
Christian
true.
land.
The men,
Yeah.
dude, Constantine
Yep.
understood that shit.
Yes. So, were they wrong? I used to get in debates back in the day in church with these cucks who call themselves the children of God, the soldiers, the warriors for Christ, by the way, which is what the Bible calls you. You're supposed to be a soldier for Christ.
Yeah, the
I
shield, but
digress.
they often forget the sword, don't they?
Yes. These people, I would say, so were they wrong? And someone would literally look me right in the face and say, yes, they should have submitted to the king. I said, you're just an
there's
idiot.
definitely no.
But
Those
the
right
truth
there
of the
would be,
matter is,
Federalists.
yes. The truth of the matter is, the people that fought these things were acting
Loyalists,
as Benjamin Franklin once famously said, resistance to tyranny is service to God. Because that is correct. I don't see how you can read scripture. I don't see how you can read Jesus's life and not see that that's exactly what he was doing. He was resisting tyranny. And there's no way you can, in my opinion, read the scripture and see anything other than that, unless you want to, unless you are desperately trying to twist all of the passages about peace into a universal standard. Nothing in the Bible is a universal standard, except all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God and need Jesus Christ for salvation. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one. Everything else has exceptions, even murder, even killing. There's times to kill, there's times not to kill.
That's
it's not
true.
wrong. It says thou shalt not kill. That's actually wrong. It should be thou shalt not murder. That's what it actually would be a better translation of it. Because there are times when killing is perfectly justified and correct. It's the correct thing to do. So these people have taken it, turned it into this weird pacifistic, gotta take all the bullshit. All you should do, you just pray for them, let God handle it. Okay, you should do that. You should pray for them, pray for their souls, and then kick their ass. That's what you should do. You can't allow people to violate what God has given you. God gave every American in this country. You were born here or whatever. This is a gift from God. Everywhere else sucks. Most everywhere else sucks. Living here is a blessing. You are miraculously, out of all the billions of people on the planet, your soul was put here. This was a gift from the Father. And you're going to tell me your job is to not defend it? I want every Christian listening to this right now, go read the parable of the talents and tell me that your job is to not defend the things God gives you. Because the whole purpose of that parable from Christ is that if you don't, he's going to take it from you. He's going to take it away from you if you do not cherish or even try to multiply or at least protect the things that God gives you, whatever they are. You don't deserve them in his eyes, and he will take them from you. That can be anything. That can be your health. That can be your wealth. That can be your country. That can be your wife. That can be your children. Anything. Anything you're supposed to take care of. Not just as a man, but as a human being. Yeah. As a soul in this world. He'll take it away. So if you're unwilling to defend it with your own blood, with your own fire, then you don't deserve it. And
You know
God's
that
going to take it from you.
there's the point. And I asked the question, and you wonder why we're talking about this shit. Because you remember those crazy bastards in the Napoleonic War and the
Yeah.
Spanish American War, those big kaiju motherfuckers that carried those big
Mhm.
axes and sieged those towns and literally axed the walls down and they continued to axe everyone to death. Give me a fucking axe.
That's what it. Those were the bastards. Just so those are my theory of the bastards. The
Yeah, but
bastard
why
men.
am I more
Eventually,
pissed off than the Americans that
oh,
are
I don't think
living
you
there?
are. I think the problem is most Americans, and probably even present company included, we understand that the state is against us. If we were to pop off, just look what happened January 6th. A bunch of people popped off, and they brought the whole force of the government down on them for 5 years.
Well, dude, they went and sat in chairs
I know.
and walked
The
around
problem
like in
wasn't
a
that
museum.
I've said this from the beginning, and if you go back and listen to these streams, I said it then. The problem wasn't that they did it. The problem was that they didn't do it all the way. If you're going to make that play, you got to make it. You got to come prepared. The founders did come prepared. They sat down with as intelligent thinking men, rational men, and wrote out a literal list of demands. We call it the Declaration of Independence, of what they wanted and what the reason that they have decided they will no longer recognize this government over them by the grace of God. These men knew what they were doing. You can't just walk on in there and be like, no, and just throw a temper tantrum. That's not how you do this. If you want to have a revolution, a true one, you have to know what you're asking for. You have to know it very clearly because that's how you get other people on board. Once they know what your cause is, then they can actually make a decision whether to join or not. And I think the problem with January 6th, from the beginning, I said this, wasn't that happened, because, let's be honest, it should have happened a long fucking time ago. The people's house needs to be reclaimed by the people. It was that they had nothing, they had no plan. It was just chaos. It was just most likely a fed up, if we're being honest. But the people who got suckered into it, there was no plan. There was no grand strategy. They didn't have any second phase to what they were doing. It was just, let's go make some noise.
Mhm.
Well, that doesn't work. You get your big blow off, and that's it. Um, I think what you're going to say. I've been saying this for years. Unless something dramatic changes, and maybe it will with Trump, and if Vance comes in after him, which I think he will, maybe that'll be the shift. I think Vance is going to be the closest thing to an American Caesar we might ever get. If I'm being honest with you, he has no time for this shit, no time for their bullshit. He's out here calling them dipshits right in the public. He doesn't care. When it comes to the normal things presidents wouldn't do normally, he doesn't seem to care. And I think that's what the people desperately need is somebody who's got enough youth and energy and conviction to see this through. Because Trump doesn't. He just doesn't. I wish he did, but he doesn't. Clearly, he wants them to love him. That's what he. Even after they shot him, he still wants them to
He
love him.
does. Yeah, that is true.
And I don't think Vance gives a shit if they love him or not. I truly don't. It doesn't seem like he does because he goes right for their throat. Um, but regardless, I think we're heading very quickly to actual American guerrilla warfare. It's actually already started. It's just started from the left, as it always does. The left gets rowdy, starts killing people. Whatever the left of your time is, it starts killing people, and then you have to respond. And the response is almost always far more brutal than the initiation. Throughout history, you have infinite, versions of this. I mean, look, people talk about the French Revolution, and it was brutal and it was bloody. You know what happened to most of those people? Not anything good. That's for
No,
sure.
that's true.
Especially once Napoleon showed up, they got real bad. So, and that Napoleon was a right wing response to that bullshit. That's what he was.
It was a response to the liberal nonsense. But yeah, well, the Declaration of Independence, which you mentioned, how does it even start? When in the course of human events, what
Yes.
an interesting way to start a declaration,
Mm-hmm.
right? When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people
Yes.
to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and the nature's and of nature's God entitle
Yep.
them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
That's right.
It's pretty well written.
Yeah, Jefferson could write.
Yeah.
He was a bit of a wordsmith,
A little
old
bit,
Jefferson.
also a little bit of dandy, and then the rest of the article, for the most part, they kind of bitch a little bit more in a paragraph, but basically it just goes on complaining to the king. He has refused his assent
Yep.
to laws. He has forbidden his governors, and yada yada yada. The
Have you ever? I'm
Declaration,
sure you have, but the
no,
original version of it, or one of the original copies, is even more excoriating to him, especially about slavery, because Jefferson was very anti-slavery. In fact, the largest paragraph would have been the largest section was how terrible slavery is, how it's a scourge on all good and
yeah,
decent things in the
yeah,
world, and blah 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 blah.
which
Uh,
is the one I
yep.
was quoting. That's the
Oh
original
yeah,
draft. The original draft, yeah.
yeah,
We all know the later drafts, right?
right,
But no, that's the original one that was posted.
yep,
So, and they
yep.
did send one of those, a copy of that to the king himself. Whether he got it or not, I don't know. I wonder if there's some British museum over there. It's got the the Declaration of Independence from
Oh, I bet.
the founders.
Yeah. One
Yeah.
of the archives for sure. I bet does.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think he did because I'm pretty sure when because Adams eventually was an ambassador before he was president
He
to
was,
England,
and
and
then later
he and
France.
yep, he and King George, from what I understand, got along pretty well, believe it or not. So I'm pretty sure they had a conversation. I'd have to look. I have transcripts and stuff somewhere about the Declaration and how, and he was very, dismissive of it, and derisive of it, of course, because it was directed at him. It was basically, "You ain't shit, King. This is why." Uh, but yeah, so I think he at least had somebody read it to him. Whether or not he ever had it in his hands, I don't know, but he knew of it for sure, 100%.
Yeah. No, Adams was pivotal in
Hmm.
America becoming, yeah, America. A lot of
Yes.
people don't. I don't. I think a lot of people don't know that. Everyone knows George Washington. Um, everyone knows, Thomas Jefferson. You know, John Hancock for a stupid reason.
Yep.
But John Adams, I think, is the most important guy.
Think so. The most
Yeah,
important, number one.
number one, without question.
Interesting.
Without
Interesting.
question.
He was important. He was pivotal. I won't argue that. Which is funny because he wasn't very popular, especially considering compared to his cousin. Uh, but he was. I mean, he still became president, but you know what I mean. Like
I do.
comparatively, especially compared to Washington, nobody was. I don't know if there's ever been a politician in history of the world as popular as George Washington. Maybe Caesar. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's just interesting to me that Adams, he, because of his nature, because he was much more of a scholarly type person,
Yeah.
he wasn't as bombastic, or and he was kind of small. He wasn't, he just wasn't that guy that you're going to make the face of a movement. Um, and it just resonates through history that people don't register how important his contributions were. It's interesting.
Yep. Well, and of course, him and banging off against James Madison, and all that kind of
Yep.
stuff. But no, I don't have any compunctions about saying John Adams is the most important guy in the Revolution, because he was. As far
Yeah.
as the creation of state, because Jefferson is a very smart guy, wonderful writer, but he's a dandy. He's a visionary, right?
Hmm.
His whole idea is philosophical, right?
Yes.
John Adams was practical. Okay, well, how do we get it done though? Just like
Yeah. How do we implement that?
Madison, him and
Hmm.
his obsession with greed, right? And money, money,
Hmm.
money, stock, stock, stock. It was John Adams that pulled everyone back from their kind of nonsense that they were all, after they won, particularly, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And the funny thing is, even another thing about John Adams, of course, he was in the Netherlands for quite a while, and he, of course, went over.
Hmm.
Benjamin Franklin was trying to get help from the French successfully, and
Hmm.
Adams went over as a representative, right?
Right.
Because Franklin tried to keep himself kind of out of direct involvement quite a bit.
Right.
He was very indirect from the shadows where he preferred to be. But you know,
In more ways than one.
exactly. Uh, but uh, but even Ben Franklin, who had successfully, wooed the French into helping him, he understood French culture, their vapid, decadent culture. He understood it because he lived it, right?
Yep.
And John Adams went over, and he was just being, because he's in a rush. We're in the middle of a war here, guys. We've come to ask you for arms and assistance. And he wanted to get right to it. And of course, the French are like, "Oh, we're drinking now. Now is time for cake. Now is time for light conversation. We don't talk about matters of state at this moment. That's later." The French,
Yep.
right? He didn't get it, and Ben tried to help him out with that. And then and Ben was kind of frustrated because John wasn't a very good diplomat in that way. He was more of
Hmm.
a statesman, and but he was talking with them at some gathering. All these French noblemen and elites and politicians and all this kind of stuff. That I think the king was there as well, and they asked him some question, and he went on about this very American thought, something that Thomas Jefferson would never say. I
Mm.
want the future for my children to be better than the future than the present I have.
That's right. He
Right?
said, "I study." What do you say? I study politics and war, so my children can study science and
Something like that.
mathematics. I believe something like that.
Yeah.
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 But that quote, that idea, that very American thinking,
Yes.
right? And of course, Benjamin Franklin even admit that he won them over, and they from that point on they had full support of France, whereas Benjamin Franklin was only able to get partial involvement from them. And I think it was after that that we got that French commander that came over, and
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I don't know why we kind of fell into our revolution,
Well,
other
because
than
we're talking about normal everyday people, the normal Americans, the right wing, and even some of the left that need to get off their ass. And
yeah,
what's it going to take? But the truth of the matter is, here's the thing that everybody thinks you need a lot. You don't. You do in like maybe a raw number, but in percentage, 3 to 10% is all you need to overthrow any government in the world. If everybody stays on the same course, they have a plan, and they know where they're going, which is the founders did, or at least roughly. Uh, that's all you really need, and just to not give up. That's it. In all throughout all human history, you do not need a majority. You don't even need a large minority. You just need a tireless minority that'll keep pressing, keep pressing, keep
yeah,
pressing, keep pressing. And as soon as, once the dam breaks, like Mark Twain once famously said, um, the Patriots' cause is a hopeless one until it isn't. And then everybody's on board. All of a sudden, everybody suddenly is a patriot, right? Everybody's on board. Uh, I'm paraphrasing. He said it much more eloquently, but that's what he meant. And that's exactly what happened in the revolution. Only about 3% was violently in favor of it. About a third was in favor of the Continental Army, and the rest was either for the crown or neutral. Didn't care. Just wanted to be left the fuck alone. Uh, and that's really all it takes. You need far people need if you want to do an actual revolt against the system, no matter what your politics are, you need far less than you think you do as long as the people are competent. What we have right now is just straight up terrorist attacks. And terrorist attacks, while they can work to some degree, they can be a demoralizing thing and da da da. And the founders even engaged in them. Let's just call it what they did. They absolutely did. The Sons of Liberty. They were bastards. Uh, these people are trying to do very similar things for very similar reasons. The problem is there's no end goal here for them. Not really. They think there is. They think if they keep doing this stuff, I don't know. Apparently, they haven't learned after 2,000 years that you can't oppress Christianity out of existence. It just gets
No, they
stronger.
have tried. They have tried.
They've
That's
tried
true.
and tried and
That's
tried. I
true.
mean, look at what the Soviets did. They killed what 20 million Christians, something like that. Uh, eh, Look at what the Chinese are doing today when it comes to the Christians,
No,
constantly cracking down on
Africans,
them and
Middle
stuff.
East,
Africans,
constant.
and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Christianity just keeps on going.
yeah.
And these people just refuse to learn this lesson. And it's because what I said at the beginning, I'm going to tie this right back. They serve the devil. They don't realize they do. It's why they attack Jews too. They serve the devil. And the devil is, I believe it's a very real being, very real force. I believe, I have no reason not to. Because when you look throughout history, you can see him. He's very apparent. When his servants get power, guess who gets killed? It's almost always the Christians.
Yeah,
Almost
it's
universally, no
true.
matter where it's at. It doesn't matter if it's in some Asian country, it doesn't matter if it's in Africa, it doesn't matter if it's in Latin America, it doesn't matter if it's America. It doesn't matter.
No,
Once these
it
people
needs
get
to
in
stop.
power, they come for the Christians. And the only
It
way
needs
it's
to
going to
stop.
stop is if the Christians stop being
Well,
pussies.
you know,
Stop reading your Bible like it's some pacifist doctrine. It is not. You are not
well,
called to allow evil to destroy you.
well,
You
you
just
mentioned
aren't.
you mentioned earlier that a bunch of Christians were the founders of America, and they
Hmm.
were, and there were some deists in
Hmm.
there too, but they're all basically Christians, at least philosophically, right?
Yes.
And if we
Hmm.
look at what they wrote down and what they said, and they put into law, right?
Yes.
Um, we have these bill of that gives us a list of the rights that we have. And
That's right.
the second right that they gave us was to have a well regulated militia being
Hmm.
necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
That's right.
Right? We all know this.
Hmm.
All Americans know this. We had study in school, right? And
Yes.
they put that there maybe for a reason,
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they had,
possibly.
there was, yeah,
They
there was
might have
some
had some
tension there.
insight into the future,
Yeah. Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. And it's a very, by the way, a lot of Christians don't want to hear this, but it's a very Christian concept. The idea of self self sufficiency, self defense, not only in interpersonal, but when it comes to those who would wish to oppress you. You know this, Chester. Christians have not always been pacifists. Like that's just not
no,
true.
they most certainly have
That's a
not, which
yeah. They've been
bewilders me.
incredibly violent.
It bewilders
Yes.
me why we're at this situation. How did they get cowed into what they are? I mean, the Catholics were brutal. I understand the Americans in general aren't Catholics, but the Protestants, they lost technically against the church, but they won historically, right?
Right. Over
Um,
time. Yep.
and they did fight back, and they suffered miserably for it. And of course,
Hmm.
Muslim just escaped, and that's where America comes from,
Right.
right? That's what America
Right.
is. It's Protestants escaping the French sword of the Holy Roman Empire. That's what that
Yep.
is, right? So I don't know why they become so docile. I don't know why they're sitting down and allowing themselves to be murdered and taken out like this. I mean, one of the reasons why there's so much violence amongst the Muslims is because it's basically like a hillbilly feud, right?
Yes.
You got one group,
Yes.
and even in the inside the group, there's feuds. They hit each other. They wipe out a town. They do this last week, by the way, right? They do
Yep.
this all the time, um, and then they hit back. The Muslims are not afraid to hit back, which is why no one touches them. Everyone's happy to pick on a Christian, make jokes about a Christian, but they won't say anything about the homosexual pedophile that's known as Muhammad. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It is. And it's the only answer I have for why it's always the Christians is because they're correct. and evil wants to destroy the good. That's
Yeah,
that's
Deus
the only thing that
Vult,
makes sense to me.
Alan.
Uh, I can answer the question of how this happened. I know exactly how it happened. So there's a Bible that's, especially in America, that's passed around. It's very common. I think it's the most common. I don't even know if you call it translation, but iteration of the Bible called the Schofield Bible.
Oh,
All of this heavy Zionism, all of this where Israel is worshipped and Jews are
yeah, that
worshipped
is
in a
weird.
lot of
The Christians
churches
used to hate the Jews, dude.
for good reason. By the way, even in the Bible, they talk about how terrible the Jews are. Like, I don't understand. Even the New Testament's replete with it, and this is written by Jews talking about the other Jews being this way.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
let's be fair. The New Testament. Now, I've gone over the history of it, right? But
yeah,
that's not the point. How do people take a thing? It's like you
right.
say, well, there's no such thing as Palestine, and if there is a Palestine, then why didn't you ask all the Christian and Jews that are actually Palestinians? Which is a fair point, right? But it doesn't matter. Palestine's a thing now. It's a thing now, right?
Yes.
So it's a done deal. But the simple fact of the matter is, the whole point of the New Testament is to show, and why it was put next to the Old Testament. Why was it put there? It was put in juxtaposition with, to show you that this was the old way. It's no longer the right way. This is the new way. That's the whole damn point. Do Christians not get this?
No, they do. But
Oh,
here's what happened: is the enemy. This is what the devil's very good at. The devil knows Scripture better than anybody, so he knows right where to twist it to get what he wants. And that's what he did. He sent in his agents, and they came and they twisted it. They took away all of the. You'll still have some churches who will talk about it, but it's much more lip service than anything. The concept of righteous indignation is gone. Of righteous violence is gone from most churches, especially in America. And they did this very intently, very intentionally, because they understood that pretty much every of the last few hundred years or so, every successful revolution in Europe that wasn't communist was Christian based. Um, and it started very often with churches or men of God,
sure.
and it led to often terrible things, but often
Violence.
wonderful things. Yeah. So they understand this. So what they had to do is they went in and they cowed it. I've told this story before that my old pastor told me to my face that he's had Zionist organizations. He used to say this from the pulpit. Show up here with their agents, offering them a whole bunch of money. We'll build all your buildings. We'll do all this. You just have to preach this word. You have to preach it this way. And some of the things weren't even like super egregious things. He probably even agreed with, but he wouldn't take their money because he understood. He
Sure.
was selling his soul basically.
Deal with the
Um,
devil.
but this has happened to churches all over the country. All over the country, it's happened, and most of them have probably said yes because they didn't realize they were signing a deal with the devil. Um, these organizations exist. It's very, very real. What happened is the Christians were effectively misled. They were deceived, which is very interesting because the end days prophecies talk about this, that the
Hmm.
church will be deceived. They were deceived away from the idea that you know even the Lord's Prayer, the most famous prayer in Christianity, it says, uh, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Well, I don't know, Chester. I've done a lot of studying. Most kingdoms, how do they come? It isn't through peace. In
No,
fact, when Jesus comes to establish his kingdom, the very first thing he does is kill 200 million people.
that's what it says.
So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
kingdoms come in on the jackboot and die on the silk slipper. Is the
that's
quote. Yeah.
that's correct. That's
Um,
correct. And Jesus himself said he did not come to bring peace. He came to bring the sword of division. That's his words, to turn brother against brother and father against son. His own words. He said them. So I don't understand how these Christians can read. I truly don't. I used to argue with them at all the time. How you read the Bible and you walk away saying peace is always the right answer? No, it isn't. It
yeah, but
can be the right answer,
it can
but
be.
it just
But
isn't all the time.
the Lord's Prayer is not necessarily the best quote to pick for your argument, though. I
Well,
mean,
because the forgive us our
well,
trespasses
you
as we forgive those who trespass against us. That's the part you're talking about?
Well, yeah, well, it goes on. It says, "Give us this daily bread and forgive us our trespasses." Sure, as we
Hmm.
forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us
Correct.
not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Meaning, we're not going to be
Yes.
tempted into violence. We're going to forgive them. We're going to let you take care of
Uh,
their God. Big
See,
pop up.
that's how they've
I
interpreted it.
know,
I don't interpret
I
it that
know.
way.
That's my
And
point.
neither did the Catholics or the Chaldeans or any of the other Christian sects up until very recently interpret it that way.
Yeah.
What they interpreted it as was this was a call to form the kingdom of God. That's what the prayer is.
Wow.
And that is done whether through direct intervention and intercession by God, the right of rule, the divine rule of God and of the kings, or through other ways. It's just a fact. That is how they used to
Yeah.
interpret it.
I
It's
don't
been
know.
changed
Yeah.
very recently.
It has. I don't know how I feel about being able to quote the Lord's Prayer verbatim.
Most people in the West should be able to. It's
Yeah, no,
pretty
I was a little
ubiquitous.
kid every night with grandma. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
ubiquitous.
Lord's
But I would
Prayer.
say, but you said it yourself. Forgiveness doesn't mean forget. Doesn't mean that evil isn't punished. Doesn't mean you don't bring justice or you don't seek it.
No,
In
of
fact, the
course.
very end of that, like you said, deliver us from evil. That's seeking justice from the Lord. Deliver us from evil. Um, so, excuse me. These What they've done is they've taken Christianity and they've put it as first and foremost, God isn't righteous, God isn't just, God isn't a destroyer. He's all of these things, by the way. No, no. First and foremost, God is love. No, he's not. He is just. He is holy. He is set. He is righteous. Those are the three attributes, first and foremost, of God the Father and God the Son. Love comes after. Love comes after that. You don't want a God. Trust me, you do not want a God who isn't just, righteous, and holy, first and foremost. That would be a
No,
terrible
that'd be
fate.
Buddha. But anyway,
Yes.
but another one that comes to my mind, I had to say all the time as a little kid. Now I
Yep.
lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord
Hmm.
my soul to keep. See me safely through the night and wake me with the morning light. Amen Ra.
Hmm.
You know, um, uh,
Were you an Egyptian? What happened?
Well, Amen is referencing Amen Ra, right?
Hmm.
It's a weird little thing we keep from ancient Egypt. But
Yes.
I think a lot of people also. What was the other version? Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul
My
to
soul to take.
take. Amen
Yeah.
Ra. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
those are famous prayers.
yeah.
There's of course others as well, like the ones that the Catholics have. Catholics have a lot of them. So do the Orthodox that they recite as chants more than
They
anything
do.
else.
It's chanting. But then
Yeah.
again, if you have a lot of people chanting in a rhythmic way, of course, you have to do it a lot more than just a couple of times. It does
Yeah,
create an effect in humans.
it does.
It
What do you
does.
think these giant concerts are where all these people lose their mind? It's the
Yeah.
same thing.
It is the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't have a full day
Anyway,
today, so
they
I'm
got to
going to
stop.
go on and move on to the fun stuff. But damn, dude,
Yeah, not
this
good.
shit needs to be dealt with. Now, the one that happened with the church being burned down, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that one. That one seems a little bit different. Was there something personal going on there? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to wait before I say anything on that because that one seems odd, and I don't think you want to jump the gun on that.
Oh, oh. Look what Alan's doing. He's poking the bear. Alan's poking the bear. Like we said.
A lot is still Egyptian. Here, I've heard Jesus got a lot of his knowledge from Egypt in some myths. No, actually, in the Gnostics, which were written, the only actual contemporary source we have of Jesus.
That's right.
Everything else was written later. right?
Hmm.
Not anywhere near as later than say Muhammad. Muhammad was literally written. All his stuff was literally written 800 years after his
Right.
death. Whereas I think some of the earlier stuff with Jesus was like less than 40 years or something like that. But the
Right.
Gnostics were literally contemporary, and it's very clear that because we have the baby Jeebus, right?
Yep.
And and they make it back to Bethlehem, which the story
Hmm.
isn't in the Bible isn't so clear about it, but they get back
Right.
to Bethlehem because they talk about the three wise men coming to the manger. No, they came to
No.
Bethlehem to Joseph's
Yes.
house because he's rich dude. Joseph's a baller, all right.
Yeah, he had some coin. He had a little bit of coin
He's
to
a
him.
baller, right?
Yeah.
And they showed up to his house, and that's where they did that whole thing with that. So you have some time passed, right?
Hmm.
It's argued as much as 2 years, 3 years before the wise
Yes.
men even showed up. However, from that moment until 30, when he starts doing his evangelizing, right?
Yep.
Well, what happened? We're missing like 28, 27 years here.
We
Well, the
know a very little. There was a brief excerpt where he was preaching at the temple
right.
and wowing everybody, and then I believe his first technical miracle was before his ministry started, and he was in his like mid to late 20s when he did the water to wine at the wedding. But other
Right,
than
right.
that,
But
we
if
don't
you
know where he
if you
was.
if you read the Gnostic text, which are
Yeah.
a much more of a because the like with all religious text, you have a little bit of religion, a whole bunch of history, and a lot of law.
Yes.
Right? That's what religious texts are. Right?
Hmm.
There's a little bit of philosophy and religion, faith in there, a little teeny bit.
Mysticism, little
Right? You got a
mysticism.
lot of history
Yeah.
and you got a lot of law. Right? And
Right.
they're all like that. And the Gnostic one, the history of the Gnostic is, after they explain how they feel the universe is put together, right?
Hmm.
Their whole thing is about the life of Jesus, right?
Right.
Because keep in mind, these are the original Christians. What came
Yes.
later was, Constantine's, can I use the word abortion? Um,
I mean, you can use whatever word you like, sir.
well, his Council of Nicaea and the creation of the universal church, which of course is what Catholic means. But
Yep.
anyway, the Gnostics were actual Christians, right? Original there, saw that, wrote it down, lived it, right? Anyway,
Hmm.
the Gnostics do cover his life. And no, it's
Yes.
not the first miracle he did. He had several miracles when he was still a child because he
Correct.
didn't go to Egypt until he was a little bit older. And he was like on the Sabbath, he was outside and he was making little birds out of mud. And
Yep.
some old Jew guy, because they're all Jews, right,
Right.
said, "It is the Sabbath. You know you're not supposed to be working. What are you doing? Put it down. Do nothing. Sit, stare. You know,
Yeah.
don't work on the Sabbath." Jesus thought this was a silly old man, so he turned he touched his little mud bird and made it real, and it flew away.
Right.
Right. He also learned a very important lesson because what Lazarus was not the first person he resurrected. He was playing with a boy who was being very mean and bullyish, and he got mad and he pushed the boy and he fell off the roof and landed on the ground dead. Jesus did that, and then he ran down and everyone was all upset and stuff, and he rose the kid back to life. That's his first resurrection. And then he went to Egypt, where he studied for quite a while, like almost 2 decades, and then he came back. And during that, there's also mention of a him traveling to a certain place that we're not really sure what that place is in modern context. I'm of the group that believes that they're referencing Kashmir, which would be India. which would
That's
make a
probably
lot
what
of
it is.
sense because
Yeah.
a lot of his teachings are very, very Vedic in nature,
Yes.
right? I mean, in fact, the many of the miracles and things that Jesus did, Buddha also did, right?
Right.
But whatever, I don't want to get into that. But my point being is, Alan, yes,
I've
he
told him.
he was in Egypt.
Yes. Well,
Damn
we know
Egyptians.
for a fact, even in the canon version, he was in Egypt at least for a little while,
Yeah,
because that's where they ran to. Uh, so yeah, at some point in his life, the man was in Egypt.
and also he is the one that in the Gnostic stories, Yeshua is the one who pushed because the sect of Jews that he was part of, because Joseph, right?
Yep.
Because a lot of people forget Jesus, Yeshua, he's a Jew, he's a Hebrew. People seem to
That's
forget
a
that.
better word. Hebrew's a better word.
And he's
He's
Hebrew,
Hebrew.
right?
Yeah.
And the sect that Joseph was part of, and he was, and what he trained with, these are these Hasidic Jews.
Hmm.
They believed strongly in family and making lots of babies, and they had many wives.
Right.
It was what they did. So, the idea of Jesus not having a single wife is very bizarre, even though technically he was kind of young when he died. Um, but he would preach and say that no, I think a priest, a person who is out spreading the word of God, needs to focus most of their time on God and less on family. Therefore, I think you should only have a singular wife if you're doing that. And of course, through the Gnostics, it's exactly what he did. Mary Magdalene, who, the absolute outrage of the Council of Nicaea, turning her into a whore. I mean, if you're an actual Christian, you should be pissed off about that shit.
Yeah.
Because in the Gnostics, there's nothing. She's not a whore. That's his wife, dude. Can you believe what those fuckers did, though? I mean, I'm not even a Christian. It pisses me off.
Well, it's happened recently, like I was telling you, in America with the Schofield Bibles. They did the same thing.
Yeah, that's
They
mean-spirited shit, though, dude.
yeah.
Just because you want to separate it out. I don't even know why they don't want priests to have a wife. It's weird. They look
It's
what the creepy shit
very
they get up
strange.
to. But
Very strange.
and of course that comes
The
down to the Galilean stuff, which people don't even understand what that was. Keep in mind, at the time of Jesus, there was no town or city called Galilee. They didn't
right, there was a
exist. That was
sea.
hundreds of years later. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it wasn't called that,
No, it wasn't. That's not a.
right?
It's not. It's not a Roman word,
Um,
a Latin word.
but I'm just saying that a Galilean has a completely different meaning. A Galilean is a type of priest. It's
Yes.
not a place. It's not a name of a town. It's a type of priest. A galley priests are, are a type of Jewish priest, and what they would do is they were very against, the idea of sex. They're very like early Protestants, early Quakers. Is what they were, but they were so extreme that once they became a priest, they would literally in a ceremony, cut their testicles off. Take the testicles they've just cut off in their hand, walk down the street, and throw the testicles into the first doorway they saw. Don't ask me why.
Could you imagine, bro? You're
They,
just chilling. You're
dude,
just chilling at home.
dude,
Some guy
the fuck,
buys
man,
completely.
the fuck, dude. Shoot a bitch for that, but uh, they were literally gallied or gelded priests. Right?
Yeah.
So the Council of Nicaea, not only because keep in mind Constantine is a Mistran, and he
Mhm.
understood all that shit. The whole Christianity is built is 100% Mistran. They just changed the names, and he wanted to
Sure.
make sure that he kept the soul of that because he's a Mistran, not a Christian. Don't let him fool you, right? And he had ringers up in that Council of Nicaea. I guarantee it. And he said, "I'm
Oh,
not letting
sure.
you bitches out of here until you do what I want you to do." So not only did they make his wife a whore, they made him a gelded priest.
And
Holy
they
shit,
even
dude.
then they took out almost anything that was revolutionary in its
They
tone
did.
and tenor
They did.
intentionally.
They did.
And they made sure to keep in all of the just submit to the state, guys.
Yeah,
That bullshit.
and all those angels and devils and demons and all that stuff too scary. Don't put that book of Enoch in there, even though the Bible still references it. Take that out of there,
Repeatedly,
right?
repeatedly
Don't give us the
references.
text of Judas where he's talking about his mission from Jesus. He actually
Yep.
was his best friend. Was Yeshua's best friend was Judas, and he had to sit down and ask Judas, "You need to do this for me."
Yep.
And talk about a friend, man. And they made
Well,
him out to be the 30 silver evil betrayer guy.
which is funny because they left in the line that he says to Judas. You know the line, "A greater love hath no man than this, they laid on his life for his friend." He said
Yeah.
that to Judas in the Judas text. He didn't say that to just anybody. He said
No, he
first,
said
or
it, Judas.
basically a version of it. Yeah,
They
he was
left it
telling him,
in.
"Hey, I need you to do this for me.
The
I need you to
original
go do this for me."
Bible is all peppered in there. They didn't
Yes.
do a good job of cleaning it out, dude.
Well, imagine if they had kept the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Whew!
Yeah, well, once again, Yeshua's wife, right? So,
Yeah.
sure, a lot of the core ideas and concepts are there, and they're concepts that have been around for tens of thousands of years, I'm sure.
Yep.
But it was mean-spirited stuff that they did in the Council of Nicaea. It was.
Yes.
I appreciate what the Protestants did, the Lutherans did in their Lutheran resistance and revolution against the Catholic Church. I appreciate it, but they didn't go far enough. They didn't.
Well, they
Uh,
also, at least what they, like you were saying,
they
they were
didn't reclaim their
trying
religion.
to not only reclaim their religion, but to reclaim their individuality.
Mhm.
That's one of the things that led to the Renaissance and all these things that happened was those movements. It directly led to the Renaissance as we know it, and it was because a lot of people
Maybe
had
Alan.
started to study the ancients, not just the ancients of Scripture, but of Aristotle and all these people. And they started to understand Stoicism and other things and the concept of individuality. See, we are so replete with it, especially in America, that we don't understand that throughout most of human history that was an aberration. It still is today an aberration. It's not common. That's not how most people think because it's not how their culture is. This idea of the preempting of the individual over everything else. Um, that's where that all came from. And the Protestant Reformation is directly, you can have an individual relationship with God. You don't need the church. You don't need a church intermediary. You can talk directly to God. That's something that the Catholics resisted to the death of these people. They killed them for it. So that is all stemming largely from Martin Luther and all these other thinkers of the day who created all these different denominations, as we call them, which is sects, the same thing, of the same religion. But it was what it was an attempt to remasculinize Christianity. I've made this point before. The Catholics had feminized Christianity so hard for so long and made men out to be these monsters, these horrible, evil, wicked things for so long, and it led to a dark age, quite literally, or what we call the Dark Ages, uh, because they had taken away, they had demonized their natural ambition, and turned it into a sin. That you're not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to accept your position. You're a peasant. These people are above you. That's it. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. And obviously, the governments of the time went along with this because it was good for business for them. The kings and the dukes and the what have you, the feudal lords. And then once people started questioning that because they started reading the actual Bible for one, and they started
Right.
reading, then they were like, what else did they lie to us about? They started reading Aristotle and all these ancients, and the letters of
Sure.
Marcus Aurelius were
Well, they
found, and
found
like,
in
wait a
the
minute,
when they took back Toledo from the Muslims, right?
yes,
They found all
yes.
those texts and books. Yeah.
And they said, wait a minute, we've been being had. We've been being had.
Yeah.
And that's what started it. The deception was finally broken, and a remasculinization of the European mind happened in very real time. Uh, those sorts of things, even the concept largely of like what we understand as romantic chivalry, is feminist as shit. Lay down your life
Yeah.
for a woman? Fuck you. Why would I do that?
Well, your
Unless she's
wife,
burying my
mother,
children.
maybe aunt.
Yeah, your wife and mother. Yeah, sure. If she's burying my children or she's direct blood, yeah. But just some random chick who ain't done nothing for me? That's insane. But that's how it came about. Is it was a proto feminist bullshit that the Catholics implemented to keep revolutions and revolts from happening. And when the Protestants came around and they said we reject all of this stuff because it's debauched and it's all the stuff Martin Luther would talk about, all of it was true, by the way. He didn't lie once in his little thing that he put on that door. Once that came about and the people had enough, these long list of grievances, it was because the corruption had set in so deeply that it had to be resisted. And what we're talking about right now, how the churches are getting attacked, how the left is doing it, it's just another iteration of the same thing. It happened in ancient Rome. It happened in the late Middle Ages. And what typically has happened eventually is the men, let's just call it what it is, the real men, say that's enough. And they stand up to it and they tear the system down. It might take a long time. They might get hurt at first, like they did, the Protestants did. They got their ass beat. But eventually they won the argument directly.
Yeah, they did
Largely.
in the long run because
Yeah.
the Industrial Revolution.
Yep.
Alan,
Oh, no.
he says, I believe that Led Zeppelin's Kashmir is about that. Alan, Kashmir is about them on a bus driving down a dusty road going to the next concert. No, literally.
Oh, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Old Zeppelin.
I mean,
Anyway.
they're not that deep, dude. If you want a band that's a little bit deep, go heavy metal, buddy. Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
You want some
Maiden. Yep.
depth into your thinking. Led Zeppelin, they did way too many drugs to really know what they were saying at all. They're badass, though.
They're great.
Yeah.
They are.
But Kashmir is literally about them on a bus going down a dusty road to the next event. That's what the whole song's about. And of course, later, Plant said, it's about the journey of life. Yeah, fuck off, dude.
I do love artists. I do love how they're so
well, he
pretentious.
is one.
You know
Alan
that.
is one. Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware.
All right. Let me get over here and take a
Let's
look at
do it.
some of the stuff I have here. Cute cats. If
Cute
only
little kitty
Amy could
cats.
see them. Yes.
Yep.
Dude.
Did you see it? Did you watch it?
I'm going. I'm not.
The
I'm
trailer.
gonna. I'm gonna. We're gonna. We're
It's
gonna do
pretty
it
good.
together.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
While you watch that, I'm gonna use the facilities real quick. I'll
Okay.
be right
So
back.
I'm gonna watch it. So here we go, everybody. We're gonna watch it. So let me see here. Okay. All right. Ooh. Some nostalgia there.
Been fighting longer than I can remember.
Oh, I don't know about that voice. It's not the right voice. It's correct, though. It's bloody. Insomniac. Damn. All right. And he looks a little bit stubby, which is good. Dude, it looks pretty. It looks pretty. Oh, he ain't playing. They got him in the yellow and blue, too. Oh, dude, I don't know. This game might be, or this might be purchased.
How far I
run. Oh. Omega Red, dude. Omega Red.
I love Omega Red.
Yeah, he is cool. And this is Prime Logan, too. They went with a look. It does look pretty. I'm not sure about the voice. I'll get used to it. REM, I think. Oh, no. I don't know about that.
Because I ain't no hero.
That wasn't a very good looking Mystique.
I'm Wolverine.
No.
All right.
Yeah, I'm with you on the voice. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think it'll be fine.
Oh no, you're in trouble, Mr. Sentinel. He's the worst guy for you. He's literally he and Magneto. You don't want to mess with him.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, dude. Because I didn't watch this intentionally,
Yeah.
and therefore, what I put up was this:
Yeah.
X-Men Origins Wolverine,
Yes.
with the likeness of Hugh Jackman. That
Hmm.
game was badass. I
It's pretty
played
good.
the hell out of it. It was bloody and brutal as Wolverine should be, and it had all kind of Easter eggs and all kind of suits and uniforms. That I played the hell out of that game to absolute completion. Right? Love this game. I because a lot of games I don't necessarily complete if that's a thing, right? But this game I completed everything in this game. This I love this game, and it looked good too. And this is quite a while ago. This is a long time ago, but it
Yeah.
was a good looking game. It was flawless in its movement and control. It was great. And this right here, this looks nice and bloody, dude. Nice and bloody. I mean, yeah, baby. I mean,
The
I'm
question will, of
I'm all
course,
day for it.
be what is the game mechanic going to be with his regeneration? Because he's effectively nearly invincible.
Well, they're showing you here. It's a KO situation, right? In the other game, if you got dropped, you just had to go back to uh, the the map tag that you got to, right?
Right. No, it
You
looks
know,
good though. Looks
yeah,
real good.
the check post or check mark on what do they call it? Um,
Checkpoint.
Checkpoint. Yeah. No, it looks beautiful and violent. Wolverine should be this bloody and ugly. That Mystique looked really bad because I hadn't watched this. I didn't watch this, but this came to my mind immediately, and I
Mm.
like what I'm seeing. However, go ahead.
Wolverine game's Mystique design sparked fan backlash. Yeah, she's pretty ugly.
Well, she's not pretty.
Uh,
Now, it's not that she has to be, because the game, looking at the film, the game footage, it looks pretty good actually. It
yeah.
looks nice and clean. This is what we're used to from the movies anyway.
Mm.
There we go. Nice. But we're literally getting that.
Oh no.
I
Oh
mean,
no. What have they
Mystique,
done?
I know, dude. Mystique doesn't have to be pretty. I mean, of course, she can be whatever she wants to be. She's Mystique, literally, right?
Yep.
But as far as her standard human form, Uh, she doesn't have to be a looker, but I mean, come on. However, this could be just she could be impersonating someone in this. Let's be fair. The people who are bitching don't necessarily understand who Mystique is, right? She
True.
could be
Yeah.
impersonating a particular person, and then later she reveals, this to be her true
Right.
self, right? Because this face is different from that, isn't it? Yeah, it's different from that face. It's different.
Hmm.
So she's probably impersonating somebody. And in the trailer, we even see her change. So that bitch maybe isn't a worthy one. Where did we
Maybe
see
not.
her change? Right here. Okay, let's see. Let me go through it again. Do we? Okay, now she's just mimicking somebody else.
Because I ain't no hero.
Okay, but I don't care about that. I mean,
Yeah.
this is Insomniac. They're the dudes that gave us. Are they the Arkham guys, or was
They're the I think they're the Spider-Man, the people who make the Spider-Man games, I
Spider-Man?
think.
Yeah, the Arkham guys were Rocksteady or something like that, right?
Yeah, they basically are done for. Yeah.
Yeah. However, is there going to be a couple of woke things here and there? Do you think there won't be? Of course there will be. We're living in 2025, dude. Of course it's got to have one or two beats, but in general, this looks like proper Wolverine, and he's in the yellow and blue, dude.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
He is
Booster has
indeed.
yeah. Booster has thoughts. I think you could say Wolverine getting KO'd and captured could count as a game over. Sure. Playing as Mystique could be cool as hell, but she looks like a handsome Squidward. She does. That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
But
No,
I
it
don't
could be
want to
really cool
play
playing
as
as
I
Mystique.
want to play as Wolverine. This game's called Wolverine. Now keep in
Yep.
mind, this other game here, this was not called Wolverine. This was X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Right.
We're getting an actual Wolverine movie. Excuse me, game. Straight up, straight up. Oh, here, where is it? Here, here. We're getting an actual Wolverine game. I don't want to play anybody else. I want to play Wolverine. And I want Easter eggs. I want different costumes. I want to go to all the places, right? We want to go to Canada. We want to go to some, road station. And I want you better damn well put Sabretooth in there. We go to Mega Red. Happy as shit about that. He should be in Japan somewhere. You got him fighting Sentinels. So, dude,
Looks good. It
looks
looks
good.
good. I think they did a good job with the model. I think the proportions look right. The only complaint I have so far is I'm not sold on that voice. I don't know what it
No,
is.
but I already was getting used to it by the end of the video, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. I immediately didn't like the voice. I'm not 100% about the face, but I don't care. It looks fine. It's exactly what it should be. Brutal. Wolverine.
Yep.
He's got frickin' adamantium claws, man.
Yep.
They're meant for Dyson. And
Slicing and dicing.
Slice and Dyson. He said they're the guys that did Spyro the Dragon. Oh my. And Ratchet and Clank. Oh, okay. My kids love Ratchet and Clank. They played the hell out of those games.
And Clank's a fun time.
Yeah,
I don't
it
care
is
what anybody
cute.
says.
I
Fun
watched
game.
them play. I played them a little bit too. It's a fun game. A lot of puzzles. Good for the kids' brains.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This game doesn't need a lot of puzzles. We just need
No,
to stabby,
but
stabby, slashy, slashy.
we
Lots of
need
that.
some though. We need and really what it depends upon. It needs to be difficult. Not every
Well,
second
we'll
of it,
see.
but it needs to be difficult because this game right here had sections in it that were brutally difficult. And that's a good thing. If they cater to these little pussy so-called game journalists, they'll ruin it.
We'll
Dude, they
see.
can't even
The
they can't even
Spider-Man
play
games,
games, dude.
Spider-Man games aren't exactly hard, so we'll see. I think they actually hit a pretty good note on most of them, though, for the most
Yeah.
part, from what I remember. So
Actually,
we'll see. I think this game will probably be pretty good.
it looks great.
Wolverine should be kind of easy to make into a video game main character. I mean, he's built for it. He has the right one. A lot of the X-Men have crazy power sets. His is crazy powerful, but it's very simple. It's down to earth. It's not, he's not out here shooting lightning bolts or anything crazy like that. He's just hacking and slashing and healing. That's what
Yeah.
he's doing.
Yeah. And
So
that's fair,
yeah.
Roger. We have to wait and see. Of course we do. Of course we do. But I like what I'm seeing. And I don't play it on what are you playing on PlayStation? Be a real man. Go buy a computer. What the hell's wrong with you?
I think this is this only on PlayStation?
It better not be.
Insomniac's
Better
a
not be.
PS studio, as far as I
This
know.
should 100% be PC. Of course. I mean, we can use the controller on the per computer too. These days.
Oh, I
But
do all the time.
yeah,
Got one
yeah,
right here.
yeah, yeah. I got a real nice, expensive one. I want to spend money on that baby right there. But anyway, yeah. Can I be happy for a second, Roger? 2 seconds. Right. Good. Anyway, happiness for you, sir.
Happiness for me. WWE's Drew McIntyre joins Henry Cavill in Highlander set to take on Dave Batista. From what I understand, he's playing his brother or his cousin.
Angus. He's playing his brother Angus.
Yeah.
Now, technically, I think Angus in the original Christopher Lambert movie was a cousin of his or something like that. But he's in the original movie. He's hardly in it because remember, Connor takes a fatal hit against
Yep.
the Kurgan, right? and
Mhm.
they bring him back to his deathbed, and of course because he's an immortal, he heals up and stands up, and everybody's scared to death of him like he's a ghost. And to be fair,
Mhm.
those Scandinavian Celt type peoples, they had a lot of superstitions about the Walking Dead and stuff. So um
Yep.
and they kind of literally send him out of town on a rail, and his brother or cousin is trying to protect him. So I don't know. So does that mean, are we going to? I don't think we'll see Drew very long. It'll probably be more of a cameo, and I'm kind of wondering if the Kurgan's going to mow him down.
Maybe. Could do. Could do.
I still don't know about frickin' Dave Batista as the Kurgan, dude. And really, can you
Yeah, no,
think?
sorry. The wife was. I got to go look at the lights now, Chester. But yes, I think he'll be fine. I think Batista will actually pull it off. I don't think he's going to be as good as Clancy, but come on now, like that's an impossible standard. Nobody's going to nail that as good as Clancy, but I think they'll probably do a little bit different take on it. He probably won't be quite as over the top as Clancy's was. He'll just be more. I think what they'll probably do is go for more menace
Yeah,
than
maybe.
than mania. You know.
Yeah, but then it's not going to be the Kurgan, you know, because
I trust her.
Clancy and all. Anyway, you go look at your lights, smile, say, "Oh, that's wonderful, honey." Let's see here. Of course, this article just talks a little bit about the upcoming movie and stuff, and of course, we know that Henry will do really well in the Highlander, because in the original Highlander, the sword fighting wasn't super awesome, right? But Henry certainly. I don't know who his trainer was. I know he put in the work, but Henry's known for that. He puts in the effort, right? He's one of those actors. He learned how to sell sword fighting on the screen. He learned it really well. And when you see him in The Witcher, the little you do see him, and he is fighting, it's beautiful. It's fast, clean, smooth, controlled, graceful. It's great. He sells sword fighting really well, really well. So I have no worries about that. My curiosity is this though, and I kind of, because this could be a lot of fun, right? Um, Now in the original movie, and I do believe in the TV series as well, Connor, Christopher Lambert's character, he takes he takes oh, what's Sean Connery's character's name? Ramirez. He takes Ramirez's sword, and it's a very weird katana, Nihonto, right? It's very weird. The Nihontos aren't built look like that, but whatever. It's meant to be a Japanese samurai sword, right? And he uses it in the movie. Now, yes, I could be. You're breaking up. I could barely hear you. Hello, you're breaking up.
One second, Chester. Sorry.
Okay.
He's talking.
The lights are wonderful. I love the lights. I saw them through your eyes.
She can't hear you. You're back
Okay.
on my head.
Okay. Okay. What was she trying to say to me?
Nothing. She was talking to me. She didn't realize that the mic was live.
Oh, okay. 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 I see. I see. Um. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, yeah. So my thing is, okay.
She's yelling at the dog. Don't mind her. Anyway, I'm
Okay.
back in my room now.
Anyway, so now I'm curious because this is their thing. They don't necessarily need to have the nihonto, the katana, right? You don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
need that. And why do I mention that? Because Henry here in The Witcher, he's using a long sword or maybe even a hand and a half sword, right?
Yeah.
And he's clearly trained a lot with it. And like I said, he looks good with it. He sells it really well. It's fast and clean. He's a very graceful dude,
Yes.
Henry. So clearly he put a lot of work into it. You could see it, right? The problem is a katana functions very differently than a European longsword, right?
Yes.
The way you use it is very, very different. A longsword is, or even a hand and half sword, is a is a slashing, crushing weapon. You can stab with it, but it's not really the main thing you do. Matter of fact, a lot of Viking swords, for instance, their tips are rounded. They're not meant for stabbing. They're a slashing, crushing weapon. And now he is in The Witcher as Geralt. He has a very pointy, beautiful looking, kind of short longsword. But he spins it, and he looks great as it. But the way you hold, but a katana is a drawing weapon, not a slashing weapon, right?
Right.
So me personally, I would rather them that Ramirez's weapon not be a katana because we know how good he looks with a longsword. Give him a
Yes.
longsword. Don't make him go train a katana. He will. We know he will. But I'd rather him not. I'd rather because he's already put the work in on the longsword and he looks so good with it. You know what I mean?
Give
Is
him a.
that a
You know what,
is
Chester?
that a stupid
Here's what they
nerdy
should
thing?
do. No, I agree with you. Here's what they should do because it doesn't make any sense. I get the idea of, he has a favorite sword. Okay, it's his mentor's, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it doesn't really make sense because swords aren't universal weapons, right? So why wouldn't he have more than one?
Well,
Why would
technically
he
in the
just limit
movie he
himself?
does, right? He has a whole room
Yeah.
of weapons. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would be cool with him having a longsword, having maybe even a bastard sword, and having a claymore. He is Scottish, after all. I think it would make perfect sense for him to have a claymore. Why not?
Well, that's hard to sell on screen, dude. A claymore.
It
And
looks
besides,
pretty cool. Henry's got the size for it.
he
He could swing
does,
it.
but a claymore's intention is to break spears, dude. It's
Well, think about this though. Let's say Kurgan's supposed to be his better at everything, right? He's stronger, he's everything, blah blah blah. And Kurgan's using a big fuck off sword, obviously.
Mhm.
And he keeps getting his ass kicked by him with smaller swords. That could be how you build to him using a claymore, using a
Maybe,
bigger sword.
you
Yeah.
could if they want to go that route. But they'll do whatever they do. I just hope that they don't feel they're obligated to have the katana in the movie.
They
You know
could
what I
even
mean?
go with the sword that Drew's holding there, he used to bring to the ring. Now that he's a bad guy, he doesn't do it anymore. But when he was a good guy, he used to bring a sword he called it Angela to the ring. They could go with just a sword like that. I think it is a claymore. Actually, let me check.
Well, not really. I'm sure they were calling it a claymore, but that's not actually what a claymore looks like at all. I'll show you a claymore. Claymore is a very specialized weapon meant to cut spear tops and pole arm, is what it is. It's not actually meant for killing people directly. War is made up of a lot of people working together, right?
Yes.
Doing different things. And the claymore, let's see here, not claymores. What are you doing? Here we go. This is a claymore. Although most claymores, this is a claymore with a handle, but actually most claymores had like a double handle because they were
Yes.
meant to be used in a couple different ways. I don't see any double-handled ones here. What the hell is wrong with the internet? These are not
Google sucks
these are
now.
not historical claymores at all. What are these? Just people selling shit?
Probably, yeah.
Did I hit claymore for sale? Did I make a mistake? Maybe I
Here we
have
go. Hang
to
on.
do
Let's see if I can
historical.
get a good picture of. Oh, that's not a good picture.
I put historical in there. Um, I mean, having the long handle is fine because, like I said, it's intention. But they usually have a handle and a hold. Well, here, this is kind of correct. Here, this right here, it usually is set up a little bit different. See how he has the handle, and then in front of the guard, there's another handle. This is what they
Yes.
usually look like. Um, yeah. Does this guy got a proper claymore? No. Dude, this is weird. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There you go. That's a claymore.
Yeah.
That's a claymore
Why
right
not?
there.
You don't think Henry could sell that? I think he could sell it because he's already bigger, right? Henry's big, So he's not fucking what's his name, Lambert or whatever his name is.
Christian
He's a
Lambert.
big guy, so he would need he could sell a big sword. I think he could pull it
Shrink it
off,
down a
make it
little
look
bit,
fine.
lighten it up a little bit, make it of
Yeah,
aluminum maybe. Yeah,
yeah. Make it. What you could do is you
titanium.
could say he's modified it over the years, but it's still his family's claymore or something like that.
Yeah,
McLeod sword.
I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I just the reason I'm saying is for Henry's sake, because he clearly has trained really well with the long sword, the hand and half sword,
Yes.
and he sells the hell out of it, right?
Here you go. We'll put it in general. This image of Drew holding Angela. Sword
Okay.
like that, which is what most people think of when you say claymore. I know it's not a claymore, but that's what people would in their mind would see is something like that sword.
Well, that would be a hand and a half sword.
Yes,
That's not a claymore at all.
I know. I'm aware, Chester. I'm telling you what most people, normal people, would think. Right? Most people don't even know that there's a bastard sword and a broadsword and an arming sword. They just think it's a sword,
Yeah,
or everything's a long sword or a short sword. That's how their brains work.
yeah. And I understand back in the 80s, all things of mysterious Japan were cool. And that's why the
Yeah,
katana was in there. And back in those days, even some people today, they believe that, oh, katana is the most amazing thing ever. They were like magically awesome. No, they're actually one of
no,
the shittiest swords ever made. The reason why
yep,
they were dangerous is because of the training the samurai had, not the sword.
yes. One
A
one of those
European
would
sword would kick
wreck
the
it.
shit out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would shatter it like glass.
Yeah, yeah. No, they weren't good swords. But the warriors who wielded them were. And
Yep.
that's the thing about Japanese. They, because one of the problems they have is, well, there are many, but one of the problems they have is Japan has no resources.
Right.
There's just not hardly any iron. Keep in mind, just to make the katana, they had to get iron-rich sand. Whereas the Europeans could go bang on a mountain and take chunks of iron off of it, right? But the
Yeah.
Japanese literally had to use sand in order to make steel, right? They just don't have good. Their resources are really poor here, and good on them for figuring it out, because they did figure it out, and then they trained their warriors to use what they had to the best that they could. So good on them. I'm not taking anything away from the Japanese, but they were in disadvantages here in Japan. But nevertheless, my point isn't any of that. My point is give Henry a longsword, please.
Yep.
Let him
Give him a
go.
nice long sword. Let him have at it. He can have other swords. I actually would be fine with his main weapon is his family's sword, right? The McLeod sword.
Yeah, the claymore.
Uh,
Yeah, sure, why not?
yeah. And then he uses other swords in different situations, right? If he knows he's going to fight somebody who's a little faster or somebody who's a little whatever, he's supposed to be a master swordsman. He wouldn't
Right, right. Well, he's
necessarily just
old
use
enough,
one
right?
blade.
Old,
Yeah,
old,
he should learn techniques from everywhere, which is what he does in this thing. He learns techniques from all over. Um, so he would use different weapons. You can't use one sword for every technique. That's not
Now you
reality. They're
watched
not
the
designed
TV
for it.
show. How did they
Yeah,
develop that kind of stuff? His like
the
lineage,
same way.
family, stuff like that. But what did they do
The same.
specifically?
He is. Uh, I can't remember, but it's like a generation or two later cousin, effectively, of Connor. Duncan is, and it's very similar. He travels around and learns different fighting styles and different
So
sword styles, stuff like
we're
that.
we're assuming because of that prequelness of it, somewhere along the line, Duncan gets killed.
Maybe
Well, he must,
could
because
be.
there can only be one, and he's not there. So in
Right.
the movie, so therefore, somewhere along the lines, he did get killed.
Oh no, in
Um,
the show, he's still alive. He's still around.
yeah, but
Um,
he must have
he
been
pops
killed
in.
before the movie, though.
No, I just don't think they just didn't plan for him to exist yet. He came along later. Uh, because I think the way they're doing this movie is they're gonna basically base it off the first movie, right? This one, Because a lot of people, including I think the people who made it, don't consider the second and third movies to be canon of Highlander because they're so ridiculous and over the top compared to the first one. And I'm pretty sure that's how the show operated too. It was basically ran off the first one's interpretation or whatever instead of because the second movie's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous shit in the world.
Yeah, I didn't watch it though. A lot of people liked it. I'm just going to show you what the actual Scots would have carried in reality.
Yep.
This is the
A
sword, the
Scotsman.
actual sword that any Scotsman would have had right here of that era.
Yep.
You know, the later eras, and then
But
if you
as
go
we
into
all know,
earlier eras, it would have been they would have either been this right here. That's
yes.
very, very Scottish, right?
But
Uh,
as we all know, Chester, two-handing a sword is much cooler than
It is
one-handed.
cooler. I know we're talking cinema. I understand
Yeah.
that. I'm just trying to be helpful. But this is what these are the swords they would have actually carried. And of course, in earlier periods, they would have carried this. That's very,
Mhm.
very Scottish. And of course, if you notice, it looks a lot like something that they carried for most of their history. And it kind of looks like
Oh.
this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right here.
Ye old gladius.
Yes.
One of the best weapons ever
Or
invented.
Drusus.
Yep.
Yeah. This is what they would have carried for most of their history in the the late in the the Middle Ages, late Middle Ages. They would have had that thing. It looked like a gladius, but a little bit between a gladius uh, uh, and a longsword, right? Which they picked up from the Vikings, and then after they picked up the hilted stuff pretty quickly, actually. They picked this stuff up pretty quickly in their history, and this is what they use for I don't know, say 500 years.
It's good design. Solid. Nice thick base.
Yep,
Not too long, not too short.
yep. A lot of people think these are much more recent, and when they did use them for a long time, especially they
Huh?
started looking like this one, right?
Yeah.
But actually these kind of the cold steel ones, they would they used for quite a while as they refined, and of course that became a saber and a foil at much later, much more recent periods. Here's a claymore.
Yeah.
See, it's got
That's
you
very
can hold it here and you can hold it here. Your hands go here and here.
yep. That's very similar to McIntyre's sword that he carries.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
It's
he
fine.
used to.
It's all theater anyway. But yeah, I'm still mostly concerned about the most important character in the movie being played by Batista.
You don't like Batista, huh? Not sold on Batista as an actor.
I don't think I mean, I don't know. He's fine as Drax. But
Hmm.
he is comic relief. He does that well. To be fair, the character his scene in Blade Runner wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I guess the problem I have with Batista is he's a woke shit.
Well, yeah, he's in Hollywood.
No, but he's enthusiastically so.
Yes.
Enthusiastic. Him, Mark Ruffalo are buddies. Enthusiastic. Now we know Chris Evans. He's definitely said some woke stuff, but he also knew to shut the hell up.
Right.
So
Well, we know our boy Henry isn't, and I don't know about Drew. I could imagine Drew isn't. He's awfully good at shit posting for because that's one of his big things is he's really good
well, I've
at
heard him
causing
speak.
trouble on social media.
I
Yeah,
think I think Drew would actually be a better Kurgan than Batista.
I completely agree with you. He would actually, but Batista's got the name recognition, so they're gonna go with him.
Yeah, but I think he would be much better. Also, by the way, off topic here a little bit, because I do need to get myself going here in a few minutes.
Hmm.
I got to go to the city, unfortunately. But uh, we have a leak. So, it's rumored it's a leak. So who knows? coming out of Doom, Avengers Doomsday. That the whole plot is this, because Captain America is the one that pushed to kill Thanos and get the multiverse thing, and in that multiverse chaos, Tony Stark's family gets killed. So he travels through the multiverses to Marvel 616, which 619, sorry, which if you know comic books, that's the main Marvel universe, to kill Captain America, and does so. But first, because when he comes back, he's dead. So he travels back in finds a way to travel back in time when you see him and Peggy dancing in the end game, kills Peggy in front of him, mocks and taunts him, and then kills him. That's your movie.
Oh, oh boy. Oh boy.
So this has nothing to do with Doctor Doom at all.
Oh
That
boy.
is zero Doctor Doom. That's arrogant and stupid Tony Stark being arrogant, stupid Tony Stark. Because think about it, he's the bad guy throughout most all the movies. He's
He
the
is, yeah.
problem, right? And I
Which
guess
is,
they're just continuing that theme. So right.
checks out a little bit with his
It does.
with that iteration.
Let me jump through a
But
couple things real quick here. Go ahead.
it's a shame that the best villain we have ever gotten from Marvel anyway in the MCU is Thanos. I think as a villain.
So far, yeah. Loki
And
wasn't bad.
they'll just never. It's because they don't know how to do this. Look at the new Superman movie. Lex Luthor is not Lex Luthor. He's just not.
Well, Zaslav
They
should have
don't know how to
told.
do it.
Well, Zaslav should have told James Gunn, sit your ass down and get Henry in there and make another movie. That's what they
Yes.
should have done, right?
Yes.
So
Pass
I
the
don't want to
torch
hear it.
properly.
They
Anyway,
set it up and everything for it. But nevertheless, let me just jump through this real quick. Go ahead.
woke Marvel Comics just gave me another reason not to buy their garbage.
Now, this is comic books. Norrin
Mhm.
Rand, who is Silver Surfer, has
Yep.
been killed off, and they have a
Oh, boy.
new Silver Surfer.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Take a look.
Yep. A chick.
Yeah. And with very weird, it's like they said, well, it's a woman, and then they put normal breasts, and like, those are way too big for the male gaze. And they shrunk them down, and they're like, oh, well, all right then, because these are unbalanced. We have better artists on this channel.
Yes.
Look at those breasts,
Correct.
how unbalanced. Because you can see what happened. The artist put proper breasts for that body type on her, and then they said, make them smaller.
Yep.
Right? So Norrin Rand's dead, and they're
Make her
bringing in
uglier.
the new female, very dykish Silver Surfer, and you're going to love it. They're going to make lots of money. They don't learn, boy. Boy, they don't learn. Anyway, I don't have time, so I'm going to leave it there. But you have a
We're
comment?
leaving it there. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
I love this.
William Shatner responds after hospital report, I overindulged. Oh boy. Shat, what are you doing, buddy?
No, I love it. Go ahead and read it, because people went, "Oh, he's in the hospital." Everybody's panicking and Twitter and all that stuff. And then he came out the next day because he called the ambulance himself because he got too drunk. But read what he said. Go ahead.
Overindulged. I thank you all for caring, but I'm perfectly fine. I keep telling you all, don't trust tabloids or AI.
Fair enough.
What's
Fair enough.
amazing to me is Shatner,
94-year-old man.
90 in his 90s, his mid 90s, and he has been for years, is so adept at the internet. It's
Yeah.
impressive, actually, and he always has been. Like there's proof that he was trolling 4chan back in the day.
Oh yeah,
He's
no.
been all over
Yeah.
the internet doing all sorts of stuff. I'm
He
very
likes
impressed with
people,
Mr.
dude.
Shatner.
He loves people.
He does.
He's clearly a people person. And it makes me wonder back, because a lot of the stuff he did after Star Trek, you don't hear a lot of noise about him. People are like, oh, he was great working with. He was fun. Jane Spader loves him. No trouble. It's only the Star Trek cast that bitches about William Shatner. So what do we have?
Especially the gay one.
Oh, him, but also Leonard Nimoy bitch too.
Yep.
But so either we have a young actor trying to make in Hollywood, right? When
Yep.
in William Shatner, and being a little bit pushy and trying to get his fame like Hulk Hogan or someone else like that. You have a
Yep.
little bit of that, and you have a little bit of the others doing the same thing. I think is probably what it was, because the only complaining I've ever heard about Shatner was from them. All the stuff he
Right.
did, T.J. Hooker, what was it called? L.A. Law, not L.A. Law, Boston Legal. Um, all the stuff after that he's done, I hear people love him. So something weird was going on that set. Is it all him, or was it a little bit of both? I imagine it's the latter. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, he is freaking awesome. He's
He
awesome.
is.
Keep in mind, it was just 4 years ago that Elon threw him into low orbit.
It was
Okay?
Jeff Bezos, but
Or
yes.
whoever. Someone threw him into low orbit. Now, it didn't really
Hmm.
go to space. It's a vertical plane ride. Let's be fair. But
Hmm.
still, 90-year-old man being thrown into low Earth orbit,
Yep.
and he loved every second of it. And he
He
was
was a handsome man. Look at him.
he
Handsome
was.
man.
And but when he came down, he was so happy, so thankful for he said it was a lot of fun. And then we get these ladies go up, and it's all about the women's and the women's. We're astronaut Janes, and we've just changed the world. What a difference,
Yeah.
right? What a difference. Some old Hollywood dude is like, thank you, that was a great experience. I mean, unbelievable, dude. Boston Legal was great. Denny
It was
Crane, dude. He's freaking epic as Denny Crane. And him and James Spader together, I mean, come on, dude. Come on.
great. Great chemistry.
Yeah, oh
Great
yeah, it
chemistry there.
worked out beautifully. One of the funniest things was they decided, because the laws were changing, that they were going to have a gay marriage because they could both save money.
Yeah.
You remember?
That's
That
right.
was their plan.
Brilliant.
It was brilliant.
The most Jewish of all plans by
It
these
was
two.
the most Jewish of all plans. It was so good. But Denny Crane. Anyway, let's see here. Just quick look. With This is the boy who's playing Nicholas Galitzine is playing, of course, He-Man in the movie. We looked at this picture before. It's like, all right, looks all right. They did come out with this imagery.
Nice.
Don't know what that is, but he's on Tigra or whatever his
Whatever
name
it's called. Yeah.
is, Battle Cat. So yeah, I don't know. I still think they're absolute idiots for bringing it to Earth. Just stay on Eternia. What the hell's wrong with you? Go down to New Zealand or something. You know, do all your
Yeah.
filming down in New Zealand, man, or go to Kazakhstan or Azerbaijan or something, right? Jesus. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this as we do every week. One battle after another. $22 million. Ooh, this is a bad weekend, dude.
Not a good weekend.
That's a real bad weekend, dude. Holy crap.
Look at
Um,
Demon Slayer though. Holy buckets. Look at that.
300 million, dude. That's a thunder shot, dude. Holy
Off an
crap.
anime. An
That
anime.
they're making money on that. No,
Oh
anime
yeah.
are more expensive than a cheap budget movie for sure, but they're making money. Let's see here. I did see someone had a review on this. $24 million. It looks super low budget, so I don't know. They might not be in trouble. But this is not much money. When their evil enemy resurfaces after 16 years, a group of ex-revolutionaries reunite to rescue one of their own daughters. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's I've seen various reviews and none of them were complimentary.
Oh, fair.
Whether it's from the anti-woke people who say it's an incredibly woke film, to the other people who just say it's boring.
Yeah. Always have to find that middle ground, don't we?
Yeah.
You're probably
Oh
right,
boy.
Alan. It is probably Heasley. I imagine it is. But I don't even want to read the description. Do I have to? I'm not gonna.
No.
I'm not
Mm-mm.
gonna.
No.
No, not gonna. All right. The Strangers, Chapter 2. This is like a horror movie, isn't it? Yeah, I
Looks
think
that way, yeah.
yeah. And oh yeah, no, I remember. Not good, and it didn't make any money. This was a bad weekend, dude. They re-released, the Spider-Man stuff. This Tobey Maguire, I'm assuming. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire stuff. It didn't make any money at all. Wow, dude, what a bad weekend. Where'd all the money go this weekend?
It's a good question. I
Look
don't
at
know.
look at that, dude. It's just a little horror movie. We're coming up in October, right? Um,
Yep.
is it the Charlie Kirk effect? Are people
I don't know if
still
it's that.
are
I
still
think
people
it's
still
just.
muddling in that?
I mean, look at what we got here. This is all garbage.
You're right.
Just trash.
But you're in the heart of it. I'm not. Are people still kind of caught in the grasp of the Charlie Kirk event?
Yeah, but it's not as much as it was. Um, you still have people virtue signaling about it here or there, one way or the other.
Yeah,
But it's not as prevalent as it was. I believe it was Sam Hyde who said that Trump and his people had about 2 weeks to cash in on this and really do something.
they probably
And
did in
by
some
and
way.
large, they've squandered it, at least in the public's perception.
Yeah. Well, I
Because
mean,
you hadn't had an event like that since, I don't know, 50 or 60 years, and you had a chance to do something huge with it. You could have really started to push the country the way that your
well,
base wants you to push it,
they
and
had a big
instead,
event. He made Antifa a terrorist group. I don't know. What
yeah.
more do you want him to do? Start a war?
I want him to, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I mean,
I
I've been
told
pretty
you.
clear
I
about that.
Give me a battle axe. Give me a battle
I've been
axe.
pretty clear. I've been pretty clear that I think these people's heads need to roll. I don't think I've minced those words at all. In fact,
Yeah. Now I don't know what they're going on about Rocky Horror Picture Show 50th anniversary, dude. This has been playing in college campuses for freaking 50 years. I don't know what you're
yeah,
talking about. That's weird. Some kind of documentary, Strange Journey, the story of Rocky Horror. Okay. That was a shit weekend. That was a real. Let me go
not
look
good.
at the other things because Demon Slayer made some money.
Yeah.
That made a little bit more, a little bit, not much. Let's see. This isn't doing anything. Not doing
But without the
anything.
Abby movie,
Downton Abbey.
wow.
Yeah. They probably made some money though.
Hopefully,
Let's see here. Anything else? How did this thing do in the end? Ooh, they lost a
wow.
lot of money. Excuse me. They lost a lot of money, dude. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't see anything here. The winner this year is Weapons, and clearly freaking Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
Goodness gracious,
and it's
that's
still going.
huge. It's
It
still
might it might
going.
crack it. It might crack it if
It
it keeps
could,
going at this
but
pace.
that's a lot of money for an anime, dude. That's a lot
That's
of money.
crazy. It's good. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it. Figure out why it's so huge. I don't get it. Nothing about it from the
Eh,
outside is like,
it's
oh, I gotta watch this.
it's fine, dude. That's the
But that's the problem. Why is it so huge if it's just fine? Like, what is going on?
kids like it, I guess.
Apparently,
Yeah. But it's yeah, it's fine. And honestly, Demon Slayer kind of died there for a while because you had
yep.
Chainsaw Man, you had other things coming out that were overshadowing it. And then this movie comes out and just revitalizes the hell out of it, dude. They must be dancing in the streets in Osaka.
Oh yeah.
I think this is coming out of Osaka. I'm
Oh
not,
yeah.
yeah.
The Shueisha, that's the name of the company that owns Shonen. Yeah, they're probably having a good time.
Oh,
They're probably
yeah.
having a good time.
Money, money, money. Anyway,
The hookers and booze is flowing, Chester. It's flowing.
well, there's not a lot of hookers. It's
There's
Japan.
yes, there is.
No, no,
What do
there's
you
not.
mean?
No, there's not. Japan,
I see
the
whole videos about them. What do you
dude,
mean?
you've seen videos that were taken in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, so maybe a little bit in the 90s. Hookers
You're telling
these
me if I go to
days,
Tokyo, there's not hookers in Tokyo?
not really, and not certainly for you.
What does that
Um,
mean? thought they were for whoever pays. Wait a minute.
No, they're
Ain't that
kind
kind
of
of the job of a hooker?
no, they're kind of particular, and it's not what you think it is. Basically, they're just going to jack you off. That's it.
Well, yeah,
No,
I can do that
no
myself.
fellatio, no penetration, no nothing. They're just going to soap you up. They're going to give you a bath, basically, and they're going to jerk you off in the bath. That's what's going to happen.
I'm not
That's
going to
it.
pay for that. I can do that on my own.
Yeah,
Right now, I
I
could do
don't
that.
even really know how much it costs. I'm not sure what it costs. Like $80 maybe. It's not a lot. But
More than I'm
yeah,
willing to pay.
Japan is not a highly sexual society, dude. It's
There's
really
got to be
not.
hookers, though. There's hookers everywhere.
There are, but I'm telling you, Japan is not what you think. They've
Huh.
lost their balls, dude. They have. They
They've been
really have.
emasculated.
They have. And
2 nukes will do that to you.
the women are like I have told you that Japan has the highest number of virgins on earth right here,
Yep.
right? And it is what it is. Um, and recently, the reason I say this also adding to it is there's been a lot of pushback about foreigners being let in the country and some of the shit they're up to, some of the black dudes, and of course some of the Muslims, which is a very different problem. And of course, Chinese just being dicks as the Chinese are. The Japanese are not happy about it. They've been pushing back pretty hard about it. That's why the prime minister lost his job. That and also he just didn't do anything. He did nothing. So
Maybe.
yeah, Japan is not that kind of place. If you want hookers, you want to come to Asia, I'd say go to China, but don't go to China right now. That would be stupid.
Yep.
Because they have hookers everywhere and they're dirt cheap. Dirt cheap.
Well, you don't want dirt cheap hookers. That's
You go down to Macau and you can go. And I heard from a friend. Okay, you go down to Macau and you go into like every corner. There's a brothel. You go in. They press a button and it rings in all the apartments above. And each girl keeps her little apartment. And they all come running down. You can hear them coming down the stairs. And they come running down the stairs and they all stand in a line. You pick one or two and it costs you, the foreigner, who they're overcharging ridiculously. Would you like to guess how much it costs for a hooker in Southeast China?
tell me. Hit me
20,
with it.
$20.
Yeah, see, no, I'm good.
And they're overcharging the hell out of you because you're a rich
$20
foreigner.
whore. $20
$20
whore.
whore.
That's like a $2 steak. That's you don't want that.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna buy one, you got to spend some money because otherwise you're
Yeah.
risking a lot. You're
And-
risking a lot.
And those girls, they need a hamburger.
So you're saying it's gonna be painful. It's not gonna be enjoyable. That's what you're saying to me.
It's going to be pokey.
Hit some bone. Yeah, real pokey. Yeah, you don't
A lot of
want that.
bones.
You don't want that.
Yeah. Now, I actually went to Shanghai and Beijing and Hong Kong, and when I was doing the tour, right, a couple times, and they actually would just bring. Every time we went to China was the only place that did that, by the way. They would literally bring just rows and rows of prostitutes and offer them.
There you go. Would you like to
Yay.
sample our finest?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was the finest. Now, in Tokyo, now this is more than 30 years ago, right? But in Tokyo, they did take us to a kabukicho, and there were naked girls all about. So, okay. Didn't see any of that in Jakarta.
No, conveniently. Yeah.
I would wonder if wonder if they had prostitutes. They definitely didn't see any of those there. Manila, whew, lots of prostitutes.
It's all over.
However, the problem with Manila is breathing.
Yep.
Because the garbage was everywhere stacked up all over the streets I guess they didn't have garbage men, and boy, does that city stink. Have you ever, some cities you go to have a smell, right? Like when I was a kid, New York had a piss smell, right? Manila, the city, Manila in Philippines, it smells bad, dude. It
A
smells
good
real
time.
bad. To be fair, Jakarta didn't smell great either.
Interesting.
Tokyo smells great though.
I'd imagine. Yeah, they're very clean. The
Yeah,
Japanese, very clean people.
they are. They are. They're like
Neurotically
us.
so.
Well,
Yep.
Americans and Japanese are very similar in that way. We overwash. We do.
Well, we also apparently the main difference is Americans like sex, and Japan seems to not.
They used to, but it's a
Huh.
problem. It is a problem. I'm not saying there isn't any going on because I do see babies here or there, but it's not like the West, dude. I don't understand these guys. I mean, I'm married and older, and I've sowed plenty of oats when I was a kid, so I'm good, right? But I see all these young dudes, and you have all these little girls running around here, man. I was like, man, I would be on that shit, dude.
Probably
I,
good I don't live in Asia, is what you're saying, and in Japan specifically, because nobody's banging. There's an epidemic of unfucked women, is what you're saying to
dude,
me,
there is
Chester.
an epidemic, and this is why I get my ass touched all the time. I got ladies twinkling at me like I'm freaking Henry Cavill, constantly, constantly, and they do it right in front of my wife. I've told you before. I'm not kidding.
Oh no,
Constantly
women are
get hit on.
shameless. They do it in front of my wife all
Shameless.
the time too.
Yeah,
Shameless.
yeah.
They don't care. She's standing right there.
So but of course, my wife thinks it's funny, and it's probably also a point of pride to her, I would imagine. Um, women are weird that way. But nevertheless, because the opposite would not be true. If you had a bunch of
No,
guys come out hitting my wife, that dude's gonna have broken nose.
somebody's getting hit on
Someone's getting
physically.
hit. Yeah, back the fuck up. What are you doing? Women are the
Like
opposite, though.
if me personally, I don't care if there's a little if the guy's doing a little bit of flirting, as long as his hands are to himself, right? If hands start happening, then hands is gonna happen. But words I don't care about because I don't whatever. Say what you want, bro. Ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna happen. I know this woman. Trust me, it ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna
Well, that
happen.
is fair, and I've never had an instance of that
Hmm.
because
No, men are typically respectful of their
they
of
usually
men.
are, and she
If you're
literally
with
has
their
a
woman,
kaiju standing next to her.
yes, exactly. That's my point. They're typically respectful. It's women though, man.
Dude, shameless, absolute
They are.
shameless,
They
shameless.
are.
I told you about that girl up in Tokyo, little bartender girl.
Oh, you told me, and I was like, Chester, it might be time. Might be time to embrace the culture fully.
No, no,
Is all I'm saying.
no, no, no. She's so cute, dude. She was so cute. So, my type.
Yep.
Not for anything serious, just play, right? That's the kind of girl
Uh-huh.
I play with. Damn.
Hmm.
Damn. It's okay. I just told myself you're an old man now. You don't need that. Slow down. Take some
she'll
Metamucil.
she'll kill you, young.
No, I don't, I'm still quite spry there, young man. But
It's quite spry for an old man,
bros
huh?
before hoes. Absolutely, Jiminy. Absolutely. But anyway, I gotta go, man. I really gotta go.
Chester,
So
get out of here!
take
Holy
us out of here, man.
crap! Oh, hang on a second. Oh, I got one. I got one I don't think I've ever done before. I found it in my notes. Leave calm that which is quiet, for it may be louder than you think.
Okay. All right. Namaste. Nice to see you, Jason. Later, guys.